Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Otakus on Air. I'm Nico. She's Maria. Thank you guys for watching last week's episode. We had a bunch of views, a bunch of people subscribed. Hope you guys are liking the shorts. We put up a bunch of anime shorts. So if you're into having brain rot for a minute and a half, go look at our shorts because golly, are they there? Um, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and howdy to all the new subscribers who may be here watching our podcast. We do a podcast weekly, or at least we try to, and we talk about the latest manga. Not sorry, not me, not the latest manga, but the latest anime that is out. Not all of them, but the biggest ones, and we are currently watching DanDaDan and Dragon Ball Daima. We're also covering Dragon Ball Z. We're going over Dragon Ball Z Kai. She's watching it for the first time, so
I am.
uh we're doing that. We just finished the Saiyan Saga, so we're gonna do a little recap. Not recap, it's more of like a I don't know, discussion about it at the end of this episode. And yeah, whatever anime we're watching, we talk about that too. So and in terms of like weekly basis, now I guess it's kind of a change in what we're doing in the podcast. I'm gonna start putting up polls in the community tab each week, asking a question. This week's question was, what do you think is the best anime this season? And unsurprisingly, a lot of people said DanDaDan. I'm not surprised by that. Are
No,
you
not at
surprised
all.
by that?
Yeah, no, no.
I'm pulling it up right now as I totally forgot that we were gonna do that, but it's my decision. I can't even see it. Oh, there it is. Post. They changed it from
Gonna
post.
say, I'm like, this is your bit.
Oh wow, actually 206 people voted on it. Last time I saw it
Nice.
was only at 74. So yeah, if you're watching this and you're subscribed, you're one of the 29 people that took a vote on it.
Thanks,
Thanks.
gang.
So I had Bleach to TYBW that's also coming out. That's like the newest Bleach thing. DanDaDan, Dragon Ball Daima, and Blue Lock Season 2. So 17% said Bleach, 67% said DanDaDan, 12% said Dragon Ball Daima, and 3% said Blue Lock Season 2. Now, we're not watching Blue Lock Season 2 uh, because we haven't finished the first season of Blue Lock, but like
We're working on
yeah, I mean, we're gonna
it.
watch it eventually. I think like in the winter season, like after maybe like February, Marchish, before the new season drops, we'll probably pick back up on Blue Lock. But I mean, it's soccer. How much? I really don't know how much interest. Apparently, not a lot of interesting shit is going on in Blue Lock. It's just fucking them kicking the ball around. So I don't know how much we're really missing out on what they're doing this week. Sorry if you're a super in-depth Blue Lock fan, but I've heard really bad things about this season. I've heard that it looks like
hmm
somebody made it in clip cut or
I've
cap
heard
cut,
that
whatever it's
too.
called.
Yeah.
I've heard that they look
CapCut.
like PNGs just moving. Um, like and I heard that the talking is better than the actual soccer bits. So, if your show's about soccer and it's not doing the soccer well, I just don't think there's much there. Like, but that's just me personally. But what do you guys think? Yes, let us know. I mean, obviously you guys like think DanDaDan's the best one. I think DanDaDan's the best one.
I also think
Um,
DanDaDan's the best one.
if you're part of the 3% who are like, yeah, Blue Lock's the best anime this season, I want to know why. Like I truly want to hear why. And if you could leave a comment, please do. Let me know why you think Blue Lock is the best. Like there has to be an insane amount of copium going on there. Like you have to go around. It's one of those anime. I feel like you have to go around and tell your friends like, just trust me, bro. Just trust me.
It gets good, I
It gets
promise.
good. It gets good. I swear. Like, what's the one show that was really like that I was like, oh, this show's so good. Uh, Bull Metal. What was that one that I watched? I saying that was good. That we watched at the anime convention.
Oh, uh, the
It
one
was like
about the
Bull.
VTuber, right?
No, 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 no. But that one
Oh,
too. No, I'm talking about the Bull one, the New York Bull one, where everybody got naked in two
oh,
seconds.
yeah, yeah.
I don't even know what it was called, but there's this anime
It's
that
bull
it was like
something.
It was like
Yeah.
Bull 34, I think it was. Something it was like
Yeah,
Bull 30, yeah,
yeah.
Bull 30. Don't look. You know what? go for it.
Don't
You know what?
don't
Go
listen
for
to
it.
me.
If you want to, go for it. We
You listen.
watched it worst anime ever, and I was like, oh, this shit's gonna be great. It is not great. It is terrible. It is one of
It's
the. It's just.
very offensive
It's not even like
to
bad.
put
It's not
it
like bad
lightly.
anime, but it's
It's
just like what the
offensive.
who the fuck who made this? Trust me. Go look. It's on. It's the whole thing is on YouTube,
The
and they
whole
don't
thing
even
is on
care.
YouTube.
So
Yeah.
they don't even care that that's on YouTube. So no, who cares about what I say? So go watch it. Go watch Bull 34. That's my suggestion for you. I should put Bull 34 as a surprise pick for the poll. It's the
See how
best
many
anime
people
season.
listen to you to watch Bull
Yeah,
34.
who watched Bull 34 this week? Next week's poll. Anyway, yeah, let us know in the comments below or wherever I post this. You just let us know what you think about this year's anime. We have a lot to cover this week, so we can cover whatever you want. Do you want to do DanDaDan first? Do you want to do Daima first? What do you want to do first?
Um, I have DanDaDan first in my notes, so we can start with DanDaDan.
All right, let's do DanDaDan. This week's episode. Hold on, I have notes this week. I know what they are. Uh, So this is the review of DanDaDan episode 5. Episode 5. Wow, I am dyslexic. This is the episode review of DanDaDan episode 8. I've got a funny feeling.
Mr.
Um
Mr.
I,
Notes over here with us.
yeah, I seriously looked at the number 8 and was like 5. Like it hit my head. It just said 5. Anyway, um so this episode follows probably one of the best episodes of I'm gonna say of the year. I'm gonna say anime episode of the year. Is that a hot take? Is that a hot take?
Okay, so you say, sorry, I was like semi locked in. You say that this episode um was the best episode of the year,
Not this
or
episode. I'm
it's
saying that,
following the next episode of the year. Okay, okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
this is me
yeah,
saying that
yeah,
episode 7
yeah, yeah, yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
anime episode of the year.
Yeah,
What do you
sorry,
think?
sorry.
You,
I'm
is that a
locked in
hot
now.
take?
No,
Sure,
no.
you are.
I'm locked in now. No,
Okay.
I don't think that's a hot take. I would absolutely agree with you. Just
I'm torn between this the number 7 episode of Don Don and Free Run's
ooh,
I'm gonna kill you kill yourself episode. Like
yeah. Ooh,
tied
that
between
yeah.
those two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We haven't even talked about Free Run on this
I
podcast
I
yet,
always
but
forget
we
about
will.
free rent. Ugh, I love free rent.
Free Run's so good.
Yeah, no,
That's a
that is a
legit
tough piece.
suggestion.
Yeah, free rent is a legit suggestion, but that is tricky. That is tricky. I would say since it's the most fresh in my brain, that I would agree with you. But free rent is a big contender for sure.
Yeah. So in saying that, this episode follows that, and like it's not a bad episode. I don't think it's a
No.
terrible episode. It was more of a this was a definite setup episode.
Mm-hmm.
There was things that happened towards the end of it, but for the most part, this episode was very like talky whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
like that's not bad. I mean, I have in my notes the Momo character development a little bit here by saying like she doesn't want to hate Ira,
Mm-hmm.
but also is like, I'm only not gonna hate you if you don't say sorry to Okaru. So
Yeah,
like,
I have this something similar too. I don't want to like get too into like my reasoning because we haven't like talked about like what exactly happens yet, but I have it noted that there are some developments going on
yeah,
with the characters for sure.
yeah. I mean, I like Momo. I think the change from episode 1 Momo to now has been
Yeah.
pretty blatant, and there's obviously been some time between like her and Okaru and have had to have like regular time to hang out now. So I like
Mm-hmm.
that they're kind of defending each other in their own sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
And Ira is like, you're a demon, Momo, but like is also in love with Okaru now. So
Yeah, we have
that's a new development.
a
Love
little
triangle?
love triangle happening now. I feel like this episode was like we had that switch back into like the semi slice of life like romance anime thing going on.
Yeah.
um I've the one thing I found really funny now that we're like getting more of Ira's character is that every time she's like interacted with Okaroon this episode, she's just kind of like, I'm a human, but you're a demon. Our love is so forbidden. And it's like really reminding me of like Twilight and like that type of media. So like
Yeah,
her character being kind of like almost satirical has been entertaining me a little bit.
yeah.
The love triangle was pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I feel like you kind of like see now that this is like you're seeing how down bad Momo is for sure. Because like,
Yeah.
see, she like crashed out really bad that
Yeah,
season.
she's before we get too far ahead
Mhm.
into the school bit a little bit, do want to mention that Okaroon officially has one ball back. We are back to being a one
Yes,
ball boy as
we're a
now
uniballer right
we're a
now.
uniballer. I feel him. I feel him completely. I get you, Okaroon. Sometimes it just feels good to have one big ball. I get you. So Okaroon has
I'm
one ball
not.
back.
I'm not. I'm not entertaining.
I'll let you decide what that means, commenters. um, yeah, so they tried playing baseball with the ball. I love the little interaction that Hottie Granny and Cat Granny have between each other. I think that was hilarious. And she's like, "Next time I get another ball, I'm gonna strike you out this time," or whatever she said. She's like, "I'm gonna hit that ball
Yeah,
next time."
like how is it the only way that we can reattach it is by playing a game of baseball?
It's so funny.
Like,
Like
ouch.
it's
Ow.
so random. But yeah, so now that we know that he's ball back, so now now he's balling for real. He has two girls after him. I have in my notes here that I'll never not like the school scenes in this show. Like they feel the most real I've ever watched in a high school show, like a high school anime. Like this is probably the most real I've seen teenagers act. Like in every other animation, although I've only seen like I don't know, it's high school DxD counts, right? That counts? Yeah, that counts, whatever. Like I've seen a couple of those shows where it's just very I don't know. I feel like the kids in there act like adults and there's no emotion in there, there's no like I don't know, like something like a piece of art that's not sculpted. That's how it feels when I watch this show when they're talking with each other. They're always just like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like
I need you
that's
to
how
know
it
I'm
feels.
still like focusing on your he's ballin' joke. So I
Oh, yeah, you like that one? You like
no.
that one?
No, I
Yeah, you
didn't.
do.
So I'm back now.
Oh, great.
I
Great. Wow,
I
what a setup for your own joke. Wow, that was crazy. You just threw the ball off the backboard and slammed it in. That was fantastic. Good for you. I'm happy for
slam
you.
dunk. Aha, aha, aha.
I see. I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
That was a bull.
I'm
That was a
back
bull. That was a
now.
bullseye.
Um, yeah, no, I do like the slice of life ish scenes that we get. It does feel like an actual like high school. I do agree a lot with you. And I like seeing Momo interact with her friends. Like it feels very um like I can imagine myself having the same conversations with my friends. So it feels very very real and very like reminiscent, like nostalgic, I think is a better way to put that. Especially when they were
Yeah.
like watching that like thing in class and Momo's just like crashing out and they're like, damn, she's crazy.
Man, she's lost it, man. The shrimp got her. The
She's gone.
shrimp got her. She's gone shrimp. She's talking to the shrimp. She's lost. Oh man, but speaking of reminiscent feelings and how nostalgic feelings, man, getting your romance from a porno is really good. No,
Yeah,
Ira,
I forgot about that.
I in my notes I
That
have
was
Ira is a
crazy.
freak. Ira
That
is
was
a
insane.
freak.
And fucking Okaroon being like, "Stop, Dolphin!"
And I love the scene of her like reading. Hold on, let me get a manga. Really.
He's gotten up to go get one of his manga.
Not her being. This is for podcast people who watch it on YouTube. Well, I guess they're
Wow.
all on YouTube.
He said,
This is
fuck
her
the
being,
listeners for real.
not her looking at the portal, being like,
Her
yeah,
her dad's the real
yeah.
freak here because she's like, I found it in my dad's
Hey,
office.
hey, hey, we're lucky her dad is into vanilla stuff only because God, this could have went way wronger, way worse. And you know what? In a show that wants to talk about stealing balls and cutting off penises, like they could have went way crazier, but they did it. So
she
we're
like
we're happy for that.
she like ambushed him.
She
She
did
for
it.
real ambushed him. Like,
She's done that now twice. She's a master of ambushes.
like
Like
that's
she really
kidnapping, ambushing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So did she get the kidnapping from her dad's stash too? Do we have to look into that?
Yeah, like
Because hey
maybe
yo,
they only showed us her getting into the soft core stuff.
hey yo,
But
hey,
anyway,
but hey, people in the last DanDaDan video we posted were all about knowing about the manga. So hey, tell us what we don't
oh
know
no, no,
about
no, that's a fair.
Ira.
I wanted to sorry to like backtrack for real. That's something I wanted to address that like reading all of the comments has been very insightful because like I'm not reading the manga. I know he's kind of like dabbling in it. Like I know he's not like
Yeah,
reading it. Um so thank you for like because I know sometimes like especially in the last episode like a lot of that sequence there wasn't a lot of dialogue so you're just being shown everything that's happening. It's a little bit more difficult to interpret without any type of like speech. So I appreciated people like referencing it in the manga and explaining that it was like clearer and like what was actually happening. So thank you. I really appreciate
yeah. It
that.
was
Like I
actually
felt like,
pretty.
yeah.
It was a pretty peaceful comment section, not people like trying to be super in your face about you being wrong about something, which I like that. That was a nice change of pace for the internet. Um, so yeah, thank you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we posted the video that was called I think or I was wrong about this anime. It's our episode review, and we talked about episode 7. There was a lot of insightful comments on there. So if you want
Hmm.
to take a look at that
Yeah.
and to
Thank you.
fully know what we're talking about, go look at it. And if you were one of the commenters, we responded to almost all of them. So
Hmm.
yeah, there was one on there that was like one of them was like I hate you. Like somebody was not very chill. Somebody
Sorry,
wasn't chill.
gang.
That was
Sorry,
that was the
gang.
internet I know and love. That
You're
was the
still my
internet.
pal though.
They were like, I hate you. You're wrong. You're stupid. And I was like,
Yeah,
hell yeah,
it's all
brother.
right.
Thanks for being real.
You're right, I
Uh,
am. It's all good.
yes. So yeah, back to this episode. Yeah, so Ira being a freak is crazy. Momo walking in on that. I felt so bad for her. So
Yeah,
bad.
I felt
Oh,
so bad because like all she especially because earlier before all of that happens, she was like actively trying to like continue like hanging out with Okaroon and like I guess making it like a tradition for them to eat lunch together in like their special spot and him being like, "Nah, I'ma go." Like her thinking that he was lying to her was ouch. I felt so bad for her.
yeah, well, so I have in my notes here that um anytime you try to lie to a girl by trying to impress them, it always backfires. Don't try to lie. Don't lie to the girl to try and impress them. Never works. It always backfires. There's no going man advice. Don't lie to the girl. They'll know. As pointed
They'll
out in this
they'll
in
know.
this one, they'll know. So yeah, but okay, so Okaroon just being a dumb kid. He's like, I'm gonna show up swole as hell for Momo. What did he think? What did he think he was gonna work out one day and show up later and be like, hey, whoa, hey, Momo, it's
I
going.
appreciate his enthusiasm.
Like, what was he gonna do? He got the training weights on, like he was gonna. Oh my God! Then Momo
Not
made a
the
joke
Johnny
about the
Bravoing it.
dude. Momo made a joke about his race weights. He's like, what is this S&M? I
Yeah.
was like, I was
Yeah,
like, what
she's
are they
like,
watching?
are you guys getting kinky?" Like hello,
I was like, what is
in
this?
the school, like in the school, like courtyard.
Oh my
Hello.
God. Yeah, so that happens. Ira ambushes Ken, and they look like they're gonna. I don't know what's happening there. I know Okru was pushing her off and was like trying to be like, no, I don't like you, blah blah blah. But then
Hmm.
when they were face to face, he was like, oh. But then obviously we see what happens a little bit after that because the aliens and everything shows up. But I don't
Yeah,
know yet.
Return of the Aliens for real.
I don't know yet, but we'll see what happens with that love triangle because they get interrupted by another demon. I don't know, a domain expansion opens up and Godzilla fucking shows up.
Yeah,
What a crazy turn of event,
Godzilla, like that. Him and I like looked at each other and were like, "Is that Godzilla?" Because it was like
dude.
electric and everything. Like, whoa.
Dude, let me tell you, I love Godzilla. Godzilla is one of my favorite things. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I've watched all the movies. I know like all the eras. I have a bunch of Godzilla t-shirts. Like I think I really got into anime because it was like not subculture, but it's like it's Godzilla, and if you're watching Godzilla stuff, you kind of end up watching anime because it turns to like Power Rangers, and Power Rangers has a lot of anime type of shit, and it's like you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like
I understand you.
there's a circle of understanding between all the fandoms.
It's like
So
what's it like the that iceberg image? Like at the top it's Godzilla. And then you just keep going
yeah,
deeper and
kind
deeper.
of. It's like you just end up being somewhere here. Uh, but yeah, so this seeing basically Shin Godzilla, I'll have to show you that movie because the guy who directed it was from Evangelion. The guy who directed that directed
Yeah, I think I did.
Evangelion stuff.
I think I did read
We talked about
somewhere.
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, she loves Evangelion stuff. So
I
the guy who made
do.
uh uh Evangelion, what is the show called? Well, I can't even remember what it's called right now.
Neon Genesis
Neon
Evangelion.
Genesis. Yeah, I don't know why that was escaping my brain. Neon Genesis Evangelion. The guy who made that was like a co-director or was the director of Godzilla or
I think
of
he was a
Shin Godzilla.
co-director.
Either way, super cool, and there's a lot of his influences in that. You when we watch it, you'll absolutely see what he did in the show. It's so. But anyway, back to DanDaDan. Yeah, seeing Shin Godzilla in this was freaking nuts. I was like, oh my God, that's Godzilla. As soon as I saw it, then he did the beam thing too, where he looked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
like beat for beat, kind of what I saw in Godzilla -1. Remember when we watched that and he like looks at the
Mm-hmm.
ground, looks at the water, and then it heats up and it evaporates
Mm-hmm.
and then he shoots his beam off. That was so fucking cool. This was so
Mm-hmm.
fucking. This little animation did what seven? I think it was like 6 or 7 episodes of the actual Godzilla anime could not figure out how to do. There's a whole Godzilla anime, and I've never even mentioned it to you because it sucks. It is terrible. I will never
Yeah,
watch that
because
again.
I would have been like, I'd watch it.
Yeah, I know. I won't even put you through that. It sucks. It's not even a good adaptation of anything. It's so boring. But this did what that show tried to do in 2.5 seconds. It was super cool. I'm excited. I like how the it felt the vibrations in the water and then just
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
it went super horror mode with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
I really like that. Oh, it also reminded me of there's this video game. I'm sure other video games do this as well, but like the one that is in my head, I don't know if you're familiar. Do you know like the Amnesia like
No.
games? Okay. Well, there's like a water monster and it's a horror game and there's a water monster in the game that like when you step it does the same thing like it tracks movements so it'll like you'll move like a little bit in the water and it'll just like like really close to your
Yeah.
location you have to like stop so I really like the more like horror aspect of it and then we also got a shrimp monster as well.
Or we got the aliens and the shrimp monster working together.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Apparently.
yes.
I don't know. I was like the shrimp monster. The voice was weird. What did you think of the voice of the shrimp monster?
It was a little weird. Not
I
how
didn't
I
really like it.
expect my shrimp to speak.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. It felt like it was like too telepathic, and I didn't really like how it was sounding. It's like I didn't really like how it sounded. I wanted it to sound. I don't know. I don't know what I want a
Like a
shrimp to
deep
sound like.
voice, like
Maybe,
a
maybe. You
deep,
know what?
a gruff
Uh,
voice.
I'm gonna cut that take. I don't know what I think a shrimp should sound like. So maybe this is what a shrimp should sound like, and I'm just not liking it. I don't know, but
Maybe all
well,
shrimps sound this way.
I don't know what do shrimp sound like. What do they mean?
I don't speak shrimp.
Yeah, so they're back. I thought that was gonna be the start of a really cool fight between him and I thought it was gonna be like a fist fight to the death, which we haven't really seen to this point yet. It's been a lot of like
Mm.
running away and jumping on and trying to and stealing bodies from people. But it was interrupted by the aliens coming down and being like, "We're time to take your dong for real.
We're not
We're here."
messing around this time.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. They're like, "We're back. Get over it. We're here
It was
again."
so chaotic because you're like focusing on the fucking Godzilla monster, then the fucking shrimp,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then the aliens are
they
like,
just
"Give
show
me that
up.
balls." Yeah, they're like, "We're taking the entire banana. Everything's gone. You can keep your balls. We're taking the banana." Like, and then Iris shows up and is like, "Demon form time,"
Yeah, I
and
was gonna say
her
that's
her
probably like
demon form.
the biggest thing that happened this
Yeah,
episode. She looks cool as hell. Super
yeah,
cool
her,
as
her
hell.
demon form is kind of like a ballerina. We only saw one image of it yet in animation. I know what it looks like from the manga, but like the animation of how it came out, I thought it looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how it looked like a ballerina, and we're gonna get to see her save the day this time. So that'll
Mm-hmm.
be kind of fun. It also kind of adds into the whole love triangle thing where it's like, she's talking about him being a demon, and yet, um, you know, she's a demon. So we're gonna get to see how she reacts to being a demon. I want to know if the next episode she's like, "I'm not a demon." Like, bro, what were you just doing? She's like, "I was just saving you. That's just what I do."
That's my angel form.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna say something stupid as hell. That's gonna be that. So I'm looking forward to this. I really like the demon form. Did you like the demon form?
Yeah, I really liked how it mixed her like the way she looks with acrobatic silkies. I liked seeing um the reference there. And I also
Yeah.
liked how similar it looks to Okaruns as well. Like they kind of have like a similar like teeth thing going on. Same kind of like hair, crazy hair and stuff.
Right.
So I like the stylistic choice to have her own thing while having like a connection to Okarun.
Hmm.
And in regards to like their love triangle, that's definitely going to be really interesting because she now has something that she can relate to with Okarun that like Momo necessarily can't, like not fully anyway. Um, like they have like a shared experience, like they both can do turn into this thing. They both have like a quote unquote spirit demon thing inside of them. So there's like that shared experience with them that I think would be interesting to see play out in their love triangle. I'm also curious to see like kind of what's gonna happen with Momo because she was on her own, whereas like Okarun and Ira were fortunate enough to be together in this situation. So I'm curious to see kind of like what she's gonna deal with in the next
Yeah.
episode.
I think there's something that I've noticed, but I didn't really super tell until this episode now, and that was the fact that so when these domain expansions open up and you have like their demon form, there's like a bunch of damage around them, and when they pop back out, there's no damage. I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's just their way of like being able to destroy certain cities or certain like parts of towns without there being any real destruction to the real world. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a cool way to explain away them not having to like, we need to rebuild all of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like, it's a super easy way to not do the whole Avengers thing where they're like, yeah, we're good guys, but also not paying for your car's insurance. Like it's
Yeah.
It's super easy way. But yeah, that's our review of this episode. Do you have anything else to add about this episode?
No,
No.
chill.
Okay, cool. So you're chill like that.
I'm a chill
Uh,
guy, so
yeah. Yeah, so if you guys like this episode, let us know in the comments below. Also leave a like, and while you're down there, I don't know, hit the noti bell because you're a chill guy like that. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Dragon Ball Daima. This
mm.
is the Dragon Ball. This is Dragon Ball Daima's episode 7 called Caller. This episode, the opening changed. The bull is gone. So there goes all my theories about the bull being a part of the fucking gang, which is a
Yeah,
fucking
I was
waste.
really excited. I like the bull.
Just a fucking waste. Why have something cool in this? Why have a different type of character in this show? Why not? Why would we have anything other than humanoids be part of the gang? Why not have a bull? No. So he's gone. That was just a facade. This new intro animation shows the whole gang together, including like Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma. So this must be the official final intro now because now everybody's on the demon world, as we'll see in this episode. But yeah, I'm still not really a big fan of this intro or this outro. Like I know a lot of animes make intros that are specific for their show. Like regular cartoons do this, like whatever, Pokemon or whatever. They'll make intros that aren't just songs. But I don't know, man. This one just doesn't. I just don't fuck with this intro.
I like the animation. Like I like this animation like sequence. I'm not the biggest fan of the song. But I do like the closing more than the opening. Both like song and well, I guess I would
Yeah,
say I like the animation better in the opening, but I like the song better in the closing. Um,
yeah.
but yeah.
I'm indifferent on it, but I don't know. Yeah, so in this episode, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma are all bickering about the ship not working because as we saw in the last ending of the last episode, Bulma built the ship and they're about to take off and the ship doesn't work. So,
Do
they're all
like
arguing about it.
no ships ever work in this show. They
Oh,
either all
I
just
have a
like
note. Like,
crash out
where's
or they like
where's my
we
note
have to
here? I had
abandon them.
literally that. I don't even know where it is. I gotta find it somewhere. Why can't I read today? Oh yeah, here it is. Why does this fucking show have a problem with sticking with one ship?
Yeah,
Like
we should go back and count how many
every
modes of
fucking episode,
transportation they've gone through.
bro, every episode there's a
That's
new
what I'm
ship.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Is that like normal to Dragon Ball? Like, is that just a
No.
thing that I'm not picking up on?
Okay, so kind of, but not really. Like no, but Toriyama loved RIP to the great one. He loved drawing vehicles and ships
Oh, okay.
in his covers for each manga cover art.
Mm-hmm.
So, or maybe he didn't draw them, but he wanted to have a different influence on ships in each one of them. So maybe this is kind of in homage to
A
there being a
nod.
different ship,
Okay.
yeah, to it.
I
So,
can I can handle
like,
that better than like that
yeah, I don't
I
know.
like that explanation better than like their vehicles like breaking down so that it can like spur the plot along because
I
like
hate
every
that.
time yeah I don't like that because every time that like the plot has moved is because their fucking ship breaks down. Like have you noticed that like
I have.
it's like a plot mechanism to like spur things on because nothing else is happening until not until this episode, but I've noticed that
Yeah.
I like that better as like an homage to Toriyama than how do we get them to this next point? Oh, I know.
I'm just gonna
Let's
tell
take
you,
away their ship.
I don't think that they're doing it because of that, but it could
I
be. I
like
don't think
that
it's an
better though.
homage.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
think
with
it's an
that.
homage to them because the show was made already prior to his death, so it was like he's doing
Yeah,
it for himself, so whatever. But yeah, I mean the
that's gonna be
plot
in my
literally
noggin.
moves along. Yeah, that's my headcanon.
Yeah, it's the
So
headcanon of
after they are arguing about the ship not working, another ship shows up. Hibis's ship shows up, And I thought it was really cute that Vegeta steps like they're in the middle of a fight, like a fight. They're not really fighting; they're just playing fighting. But Vegeta like just steps in front of Bulma in case something
Mm-hmm.
comes out of the ship, and I thought that was really cute.
That was cute.
He was like, "Hold on, babe, let me take care of business." Like, um, so I thought that was really cute. Little Vegeta Bulma cuteness I'll always stand for. So yeah, Hibis. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I have not heard. I haven't watched the English dub. We're watching week to week for obviously watching the Japanese debuts, so we're not able to hear what they sound like in English. So Hibis, Hibus, I don't know, but he looks like one of the characters from what's that game? Gang Beasts? Look like a character from Gang Beasts. Like he why did he show up? Why did they make his entry so like menacing? Like he was
I
entering the
like him.
fray.
He's kind of
He
funny.
was he was like, "Hello, I am here. Let's not waste time. I have a salon appointment.
I
It's
relate to
time to
him. He's
go."
kind of funny.
Um, so then we cut
He's
back.
very like monotone.
He is, and I want to hear what his English. I'll probably we might rewatch this in English. We'll see if as we go on later. I know there was
Hmm.
a whole movie that came out about not a movie. There was like the first three episodes of the English dub were out in theaters recently, and
Oh,
people were complaining about the voice is of them. So,
oh.
like, I don't know. I know Teen Goku or old Goku's young voice from like the 90s came back to reprise his role as young or her role as young Goku.
Mm,
I know that's not a complaint, but I've heard complaints about like Vegeta and like Piccolo.
mm,
I don't know. I haven't heard it yet. I haven't looked it up yet. I
mm.
haven't been that interested enough to do it. So maybe I'll do it this week. Who knows? We cut back to Goku eating some black balls called Manpuku dumplings.
Wow,
Um,
you really went in depth on this research here.
that they weren't research. That's what the sub titty said. That's all. I
Oh,
just read them.
sorry.
That's what they know. What? Thank you. I should.
Sorry, I
That's
just wasn't locked in.
that's just what the subtitles called them. Uh, but yeah, these dumplings, they're come on, our bit here is talking about the food. We need to know what they're called. That's our
You're
bit
right.
when it comes to
You're
Dragon
right.
Ball
This
Daima.
is our bet.
Every every week here we talk about the
The
new
people
demon
want to
food.
know. You're so right. I'm so sorry.
So this week it's called Bampuku dumplings, and they give the inflation kink people a whole new thing because they
Yeah,
inflate
that was
Goku.
that was one of the things I said too when we were watching this. I'm like, oh, the inflation king people gonna love this one. It's like eating 2 weeks worth of food like per ball. I
I
do
don't know,
like
and
how they
why
look though. I like the teeth.
they just look like they were burned balls. I don't know. That's what they looked like. There
They
wasn't
had little
really.
teeth. They almost remind me of like the bullets in uh or like the chomping things in fucking Mario Kart.
Oh, the bullet. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know what those things are called. I don't know what they call it, but kind of, sort of. I don't know. I like the container they were in, but I don't know why they have a
Yeah.
million of them in one container if only one of them takes like 2 weeks worth of food. I think that's kind of. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how Demon Realm like uh serving sizes are. Who knows? I don't know. They gave Goku 18 burgers and he ate them all. So who knows what the fuck is going on in this show?
Speaking of burgers, I did find out. So
Oh yeah.
I had seen like a TikTok or like a post on like social media about it, and I wanted to make sure that it was like legit. Um, so I did. And so apparently like Goku eating burgers like turn it I don't know if it like turned into this or if it was added into the show as like a marketing like mechanism for it. But TLDR, there's like a meal, like a Dragon Ball Daima meal, McDonald's meal in Hong Kong, like where they have like burgers that are kind of reminiscent of the one that Goku eats in the previous episode. So it's not super out of place, but it is kind of like a marketing thing.
It's the same thing as those disgusting black burgers they had at Burger King.
Yeah,
Like I'm not sure if you remember that those weird
the
gross
ugly
burgers.
patties.
Those were so gross.
The
I had one
nasty
of them.
patty.
I had
You
one of
would have.
those.
You
There.
absolutely would have had one of them.
I went literally down. They were only serving them at like three locations in Chicago, and I went to the one downtown to go try it. It was disgusting. It was the grossest thing I've ever
They
had.
looked gross.
It tasted like
It looked
it
like the
tasted like
nasty
how
patty.
you've had Frank's hot sauce before. It tasted like how Frank's hot sauce would be in beef form. I don't know how to explain it. It just didn't taste right. So um
That
yeah, the
burger ain't right.
that burger ain't right. Speaking of less father son relationships, Goku literally said that he
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
wasn't there. He so Pansy, they're talking. It was like a throwaway sentence. Pansy was like, "I can't believe you're a father. How did you raise a son?" And he was straight up like, "I don't know. I wasn't there."
He's like, I had no part of that. That was insane.
Okay, I just want you to tell you. For all background, I always say this every episode, but you're becoming a not normie for Dragon Ball. You're learning here as we go. But we
Yeah,
just
I'm
finished the
like
Saiyan
semi
saga.
not normie. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just finished the Saiyan saga, but like that's just to get preference. I've been watching the show forever. Like I literally just picked up a Dragon Ball uh, manga. But like I've been watching it since I was a kid. I know I've watched all the series, and I'm an insane. I watch What Ifs for Dragon Ball. I'm crazy. I could not believe the source material of, and I know this isn't like a manga thing. I cannot believe the source material admitted that their main character was a do-nothing father. That is insane to me. That is insane to me. Just like
Yeah, no, that was
I know.
yeah.
Like I know it's not gonna be picked up anywhere, as in like, and maybe I mean it kind of has. I've seen some traction about it, but like in a funny sense. But could you imagine getting the okay from Akira Toriyama to be like, yeah, Goku really wasn't there. That's crazy to me. That's so crazy. All the people who fight and say that Goku's a good father. Oh my God, this clip will run in your fucking nightmares now. Like, holy shit. You know who was there for Gohan the whole time? Piccolo. Piccolo's always been there.
Yeah, it's like as somebody that
Crazy.
is only ever interacted with Dragon Ball through word of mouth, I like knew that it was kind of danced around that Goku was not there for Gohan. And that it kind of like was never really like said explicitly. But in
Yeah.
like satire or like joke stuff that we've interacted with like Dragon Ball Abridged, they do say that like yeah, Goku's deadbeat dad. And like watching like at me myself watching this, I'm like, yeah, he kind of is like a deadbeat dad. Like he was not really there for Gohan. So to kind of like have not Gohan, Goku himself say like, yeah, I wasn't there. That's my kid,
Crazy.
but yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Crazy. I just like I know I'm trying to picture it as in, Japanese culture wise, where it's like a lot of them are very, not conservative, but just like it's culturally different, where it's like the man will be a part of the family, but like won't be there emotionally. That's for the women, and that's what the women do, that sort of thing. But it's like they don't disappear. They're not in their child. Like they're there, but they're not there. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, and I'm not saying obviously there are tons of things that are different. I don't know. I've done such a deep dive on like Japanese culture. Like I've ingrained myself in like learning about this kind of stuff. So it's like it's just crazy that they would admit this, like that their main character is a deadbeat. That's insane. That is just insane. Like as from like a PR perspective too. It's like you want to admit that in your show? Like nobody was reading that and was like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't say that. You know what I mean? That just there's no maybe the subtitles were written wrong. I don't know, but like that I've now watched the episode twice and they said the same thing twice. So it's crazy that they said that.
It's definitely like interesting for sure. Like in regards to like culture, like you said, and just kind of like what that type of admittance does in terms of like speaking about strength. Cause like I think that shows a lot of like emotional and like kind of like I'm not saying that Goku's mature by any means because this dude be making poop jokes like every
Yeah.
2 seconds. But like it does show a lot of like emotional maturity to be like, yeah, I wasn't there for my kids, you know? So that's very interesting also, just to kind of like have
Yeah.
that admittance, like that be a form of like strength since Goku's whole like thing is strength, you know?
Right. And I know you haven't watched Super, but I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't do gonna go into any of that bullshit in fucking Super. I'll tell you right fucking now. They don't talk about any of that. He the thing is, like, okay, whatever. We'll just go into it since we're right here. Like my argument for Goku being a good dad is that when he was alive and when he was there, he was with his son, he was with Gohan. When he was alive, he interacted with Goat. He has another son, Goten, later on. Um, and he interacted with them the best he could when he was alive. This is a guy who grew up with no father. Um, I mean, if you want to count Master Roshi as a father, you can. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like
You know, I get you.
it's hard to say because it's like he was dead because he was saving the earth so his son could have a life, you know?
Yeah, like, and I understand like that logic, especially because like we're watching Dragon Ball Z now, and like Goku was dead for the majority of what we've seen. So I get
Yeah.
it. Like, I do see what you're saying, and I
And
kind of
but
agree
then
with you.
But then when he's there, like we have that moment which was interrupted by Vegeta, but like they have that
Yeah.
moment where he's like trying to connect with Gohan to be like, "No, we need you to do this, son." And
Hmm.
like he does that a lot with Gohan. You'll see as we go further on. But then there are moments where Gohan or Goku has absolute opportunities to go back to like Earth quicker, and you're like,
Hmm.
"Okay, that's a choice. He chose to do that."
Okay. Maybe
You
I'll
know?
my opinion will change as we
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah, so I don't know. My opinion still stays the same that like Goku tried. Could he have tried harder? I think so, but you could say that with anybody.
Hmm.
Anybody if you really want to do, what else was Piccolo gonna do? What Piccolo gonna say? No. Like, what else was Piccolo gonna do? He hangs out in deserts all day. Like, what do you want him to do? Like,
Piccolo's not a stepfather. He's the father that stepped up.
yeah, yeah, he kind of is. I mean, he doesn't hang out with Chi Chi. He definitely wasn't Mr. Steal Your
No,
Wife,
no, he was not
but
Steal Your Girl, but
But he was the cucumber who hung out with Piccolo with Gohan enough and gave him a bunch of cool fits.
lots of
Um,
trauma. Kinda.
kind of, not really. They learned from it.
Kinda.
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, let's go back to the
Yeah,
Daima.
back to Daima.
Back to Daima. Yeah. So the police are after Goku for child support. No, the police are after Goku for being around here, and they track people by their collars, as we learned by
Yeah, I'm
Pansy.
like they be calling ice on him. That was crazy.
Okay, pretty much, they did. That's a future sight into foreshadowing to America. They they tell Goku to hide, and then Goku uses his instant transmission to hide behind Glorio and then run into the bushes.
Hmm.
There's a whole fight scene between Glorio, Shin, and the cops, and Glorio and Shin handle them like a couple of G's. But in the aftermath of the fight, we find out, guess what happens? Their fucking plane gets destroyed again, so they have to find another plane. But thank God there's just a plane that's, I don't know, hanging around the bush. So now we got another plane. But before they get into that plane, uh, Pansy decides to shoot some beams of something into these guys to get rid of their communicators. I'm like, where do they get where's the communicators at? Is the communicators in their chest?
Yeah,
Is it
I
in
was
their
wondering
head?
that too.
I was like,
It's
what is she
on their
shooting them?
person.
She was shooting them with the cancer rays. She was like, they're not gonna
Yeah,
get, they're not gonna get back up. I
yeah.
want to make sure they stay dead. I want to make sure I'm sending a message. Anybody who fucks with Pansy dies in 2 to 4 weeks. Remember the name. Like, I thought that was kind of dumb that the communicators are like in their chest. I don't know. I felt like if they were just in their ears, just take them off and smash them. That usually does the trick. But Demon Realm, um, and also Shin gets rid of Pansy's collar, which was
Hmm.
like a big thing for her because everybody in the demon realm gets the collars on them and they grow with them as they age. Apparently, she's
Mhm.
had it on her body for her entire life, so she's
Yeah,
like,
since birth, and it grows
yes.
with them.
So she's 83. So since birth, she's had it. So that's kind of crazy. Good for her. Now she can crack her neck.
Ha. Get rid of the tan lines, you know?
Timelines.
Put some lotion there, whatever.
There's a
Um,
tons of positives here. It won't get tracked by the police. Funny though, they could track you with the collar, but they didn't know that she was the one who was throwing grenades at them.
well, she had like a facial. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
I get you now. Hmm.
So anyway, Shin mentions that his sister is like one of the bad guys, like it's that doctor, I forget what her name is. I'm just gonna say Doctor Sister Shin. Um, and he mentions that she has a gender, right? But in the last episode, we find out that they're genderless. They're just plants. So I'm kind of
I think
confused
it's
here.
like a choice. Like they go by what they feel the most comfortable with.
I guess. I guess. I
That's
mean,
the way I understood it because it doesn't seem um like Shin cares. I mean like they refer to him as a he, but I don't think he like cares,
right.
you
But when
know.
you look at Shin, he looks like a dude, right?
He seems pretty androgynous to me.
Okay.
To
Okay.
me
Well,
personally, he seems very androgynous, but I'm gonna call him him because they refer to him as him.
right, right. Okay. So his sister, don't remember what her name is. Sorry. They
His
show it like
sister, his sister appears like a woman because she has titties. So,
his sister has huge boobs. That plant
so,
has huge boobs.
so, and maybe she like did that herself because she's like I fit as a woman. It's
That's okay.
they're
Okay.
fucking
Okay. So
aliens. It doesn't
okay. So
matter.
you get what I'm saying though. If you're gonna say you guys are born from trees, why did they show? Also, I looked up last week. Why did they show an umbilical cord onto a tree? I thought that was so odd. That was such an odd choice for this anime. Like they're like, he's from a tree. Don't forget this. We're also genderless. And then the next episode, they're like, look at my sister. Like, like what the fuck is happening? Why did what? What? How do they do it? They're plants. I don't know. Questions for another day.
they're they're sentient. I think they have the right to choose what they align with.
Okay, so I know you don't know Dragon Ball, but in Dragon Ball, in
Yeah,
regular
I'm
Dragon
just
Ball,
going off my dome. What makes
so
sense to me.
this isn't me saying that you don't know because I don't know how they do it, but apparently the Mechians are from the demon realm now, right? Like so Piccolo's
Yes.
species are from the demon realm. And
Yes.
Piccolo was born from his father and
Yes.
he also had different he had siblings before and when he was born he was thrown up.
Cool.
Like Piccolo's dad was just like, I want a son. Ah. And spit him out and then threw him. I kid you not. I kid you not. That is what happened in he had like four siblings and I don't remember if they show the birth of each one, but each one he was like and then just spit them all out and they were all named different instruments. His brother was named Tambourine. He had another brother named Flute, and then obviously Piccolo is Piccolo. So I can only assume when they feel like making a new generation, they're like, like that's my guess. That's how I think that they make new ones. New shins.
I
New
think
shins are like, yeah.
I think since they shown like an umbilical cord, like I think that kind of like makes sense because like the
No,
way he just
the tree grows a mouth and throws them up. Don't
like
ruin this
that
for me.
like that made sense. Like they're getting like the purpose of an umbilical cord is to give like nutrients and like blood to the baby. So like it makes
Juice.
sense to be yeah, it gives the juice. So it makes sense to if they're getting like all of that shit from the plant for them to be connected to the plant, I guess. But again, they are aliens.
Okay,
So
so So that what makes it so what's even funnier now. So now that we get that you're here with this. So do you know who Beerus is?
Yes, question mark.
Okay, he's the cat. He's the cat in Dragon Ball. You've
Yes.
seen the giant purple
Yes.
cat. Okay, so
Yes.
if Shin dies, he dies.
Mm.
But you can get this title of he's destroyer of everything, right? And you can get this title, you can get it gifted to you. It's just like, hey, it's your birthday, happy birthday. Here you go. You could become a destroyer. It's not like you're born into this destroyer realm and you're just
You're not born a destroyer. Destroyer is thrust upon you.
yeah, kind of. So now the confusing part of that is like, okay, so what the fuck does this plant have to do with me being alive?
Yeah, that do be a question I cannot
So,
answer.
so I don't know.
I
So I
cannot
don't know.
rationalize in my noggin. Um,
So as you could tell, the endless questions that come from
got
him
some
calling,
splaining to do.
there's a lot there. I don't care about the gender thing. It doesn't matter to me. He could be whoever he wants. All I know is that she has boobas and she's a plant still. So I don't know. She chose that life. Good for her. We also learned that Shin's real name is Nahari.
Well, it was also significant that like only Shin species can remove the collars.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um
that too.
oh no, or like the spell is like like nobody knew the spell, but like anybody can say the spell, I think was what he was like kind of trying to
Yeah,
say.
it was like from his language, he's
Yeah, but it
able
was
to
from his
do it.
language. Yeah, that's what it
Something
was.
like
Yeah.
that.
So
We
that
find out
was,
that his name is Nahari too, and he's
I
able
think it's
to
Nahare or something.
Nahare. Man, I don't know. I'm just guessing with this stuff. They just be dropping
They just
lore.
be guessing.
Seriously, I feel like what I'm doing is what they did in trying to determine what the fuck to do for each episode. They're like, we could give him a name. Why not? Why not? Who
I thought it was
cares?
pretty cool. Kind of like the name Nahare. I think it's pretty cool.
Nahare is cool. And then Goku's like, I'm gonna call you that from now on. And immediately is like, you know what? No. No.
he, I just thought I thought it was so funny that he pronounced Nahare right the very first try, but he's been
Yeah.
calling fucking Glorio fucking Golorio the whole time. Found that really
What a piece
funny.
of shit. What a
Yeah,
piece of
he's
shit.
like he's such a bully. That was so funny. But
It's funny because he's like 50, right? So it's kind of funny. He literally gives off old man energy in the
yeah,
funniest of ways. He's making
he's just
poop
kind of like,
jokes.
yeah, he's like,
He's saying names
oh, I'm gonna take
wrong.
a shit now. Bye. Bye, Golorio. He's such a dad.
See, that's what I mean. Like that's so funny.
Goku's
Like
such a
that's
dad.
like that type of shit is so funny. Like I don't know. It's not funny because poop jokes are hilarious on their own. I think it's funny because like the way that Goku is a 50-year-old man just being like, yeah, I'm gonna go shit. You know what? It's time for shit in time. I'll see you later. Do you have any toilet paper, by the way?
He
Didn't
comes
bring any.
back. I'm hungry.
I'm a,
I want a snack.
yeah, it's just funny. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm too. I don't fucking know. Um,
Maybe I'm too.
yeah. So, anyway, the reason they're doing all this shit is get to the Dragon Ball to fight the Tamagami Sama. To get the Dragon Ball, we zoom back to Vegeta and gang. They have made it officially to Demon Planet 3. We cut back to Goku. He's eating some balls with mouths that have sauce on them. They didn't give
I
us a
like
name for it.
those.
Those look like the chomp chomps that you were talking about from.
I was confusing them. My bad. My bad,
Yeah,
gang.
yeah. Those look like the chomp chomps.
Yeah, I like those.
Though,
The chomp chomps. I remember
yeah,
looking at you and being like, "That's some demon food." I like those.
the black charred balls were not fucking creative at all.
Yeah,
These
you're right.
balls with uh
Teeth.
mouths and teeth. Those looked alive at one point. So
Yeah, like
we got
those.
two foods in one in this episode. So I give them. We
Two
expect
balls in one.
two balls in one. Lots of balls. This week has been ball heavy. Uh,
This
yeah,
podcast is titled "Ball Heavy."
ball. This is a ball heavy podcast. Yeah. So we also find out that 20 years ago, somebody tried to This show is called Dragon Balls. They tried to get the ball, so many balls. Uh, some guy 20 years ago tried to attack the Tamagama and died. He had a big gun, apparently. I don't know. That's all the lore we're gonna get. We also find out that Dabura, the former Demon King Dabura, you haven't met him yet, but he's cool. He looks cool. Uh, he could not defeat a Tamagami. So
Mm.
I'm gonna do this. I'm not a power scaler, but I'm gonna give it my best try here. So in loads of different I don't know, forms of media, they have leveled Dabra about a little bit higher than Super Perfect Cell. And Super Perfect Cell was a level just above Super Saiyan, same level, if not a little bit less than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who was the pinnacle of power at that time. And it took uh, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who had no training for 7 years, a little bit of effort to destroy Dabura. Okay? So the fact that Dabura could not defeat a Tamagami should put us around the same level as, like, let's just say a Super Saiyan 2. Okay? So that's going to be my explanation of power levels of where I think a Tamagami is. We've only seen Super Saiyan 1 Goku in this show. So
Mm.
my
Maybe
assumption
we'll.
here is that the highest level of power, this is also after the Majin Buu saga, so the highest pinnacle of power right now is Vegito. So and that's Vegeta and Goku's combination and they could turn Super Saiyan. We saw that in the Broly movie. Remember the Broly movie when they
Mm-hmm.
combined?
Mm-hmm.
So
I do.
we saw that. I mean, this is just for her. She hasn't watched it all. So, but like they've combined before. And in terms of individual power, the highest pinnacle of power is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, we don't know because he's a kid if his body, his mortal body can handle that power because Super Saiyan 3
Mm-hmm.
is a high level which takes a lot out and you need to have a lot of stamina and we don't
Mm,
know
I
what his
see.
stamina level is in this
Mm.
kid body. We knew
And
that it
like
took him a little bit to get there.
isn't the like gravity like more dense or something? Like it's harder for him to move around and stuff in the
Yeah,
demon world? Yeah.
and that could also have an effect on
Mm-hmm.
what he does. So I don't know if he'll be able to defeat the Tamagami. He might have to go. He might need to push his limits, and we'll see if Vegeta needs to help him out. They need to fight together. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of how the episode ends. We end it with Goku and the Tamagami standing off, and the next episode should be very fight heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I liked this episode. I thought this episode was pretty
Me too.
interesting. I liked a lot of it. I thought that uh it was the best find another ship episode that we've seen so far.
Find a ship simulator.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's fine. It's very reminiscent of like RPGs. You know, you go from town to town, you fight some
Yeah.
dudes, you find a new thing, you move on to the next boss. It's fine. It's okay. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the show. I know a lot of people are dropping it now because we've gotten to a point where it's very much like,
Where
who
are we
gives a
going with
fuck?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're finally getting to the point of where we're going with this. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's only taken us 8 episodes. I feel like out of the first 6 episodes, it definitely could have cut it down by at least 2 episodes.
I think
And
so too.
I'm not saying that by episode 5 you should be where we're at now, but I feel like because of the lack of information that they've given us, we've been so heavy on fucking Shin information in the last 2 episodes. I mean, it's cool. It's cool
Mm-hmm.
lore. I find it interesting. I like that, but I also just don't. I don't know. I feel like you could have figured this out a little bit sooner. Um, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm excited to see where to fight. I like the animation still. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see with where they go with it in the next episode. Vegeta and everybody's gonna be together, so we get to see all those interactions. And yeah, I mean, we got. I think also the official count for the amount of episodes came out this week. I think it's around 24. So we got
Oh, it's gonna be
officially
long. Mm-hmm.
24 episodes. I mean, for a Dragon Ball series, this is not long. This is a one-off show, and every single Dragon Ball series has been at least 60 plus episodes.
I
So
was gonna say, like, I forgot that this just gonna be like a this is it. Forgot
yeah.
about that.
So yeah, that's kind of all I got for this episode. You got anything else for this episode?
No, I mean, I'm happy that we're kind of like now in at a point where we know um kind of what's gonna happen or like can speculate where we're gonna go. Because in the other episodes, you really couldn't. It didn't seem like it was really going anywhere or going anywhere interesting, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So I'm kind of happy that we're in an area where we're like excited to see what's gonna happen because like the premise for me is really fun like as a whole, so I'm glad that I'm finally able to like enjoy to the fullest extent what I'm watching. So yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, let us know what you guys think about Dragon Ball Daima, whether it's this episode or episodes before. Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, please leave a like, please subscribe. We enjoy interacting with you guys a lot. And we get a lot of comments and we like answering them. So yeah, for sure, leave them. All right. We can talk about Ranma. Talk about Ranma really quick. We are continuing our watch of Ranma. This is the third episode of Ranma. This is our third episode review of Ranma one and a half.
One
Um,
half.
one half, one half. We're here. We know what we're talking about. One. You know what? Wow. For the first time since watching the show, I now just got it. Ranma one half because there's two of them. Okay. I see what's happening here. I understand it now.
We're here.
I
Welcome.
understand it now.
Welcome back.
Wow.
We
Wow,
missed you here.
that's crazy. All right, so Rainma one half, episode three, because there's someone
Rayma.
he likes. Rainma. Sorry, I'm not gonna say his name right. At this point, it is ingrained in my head that his name is Rainbow. So sorry. And no, you
That
know what? No one has
that there
corrected me.
Rayma.
Nobody has corrected me in the comments on each of the other video. I know somebody will now to be a smartass, but nobody has corrected me yet.
Do it. Do it for me.
But
Correct it for me.
yeah, I know you wrote a lot more notes than I did about this episode. I was kind of going off of vibes.
Yeah, I
Um,
was
I,
click
I
clacking
thought
away.
I thought that the first part of this episode was hilarious. I love Rainma having nightmares about Kanu. I think that is
Yeah.
so fucking funny.
I thought that was really funny that he's just like scared to go to school to be like, oh, this dumb fuck's this dumb fuck's gonna hit on me.
Which is even more funny because Akemi literally goes to school and fights off men constantly. So the fact that one guy falls in love with Rainma and he's like having nightmares about it is so fucking
So
funny to me.
funny.
Uh I also wanted to say I don't have this in my notes, but I love the intro to the show. So it's so nice. It's just
Me too. It's really cute.
I love the animation. I think I don't know, it's just fun. Just a fun listen. I'll listen to it every. There's been a lot of good intros this year, I feel like. Besides Dragon Ball, there's been a lot of good intros this year for anime.
Besides, besides Dragon
Besides,
Ball,
besides Dragon Ball
unfortunately.
Daima. Boo, Dragon Ball Daima. Uh, yeah, so I am interested in seeing if they change any of the intro animation. I've noticed that's been a common theme in a lot of different animes too, so maybe they'll change that as we go
Mhm.
on. We're only in episode three. I know like episode nine just dropped of it, but who gives a fuck? I don't. Speaking of like, not. I know the first like reaction video I made of this was who's watching this show, but like, I decided to do a little bit of research into who's watching this show,
You wanted to
and
answer your own
yeah,
question. Good,
I
good
did.
on you.
Yeah, because I was like, why is this a thing? Like, why is there a remake of a show that was from the 80s, early 90s? I don't remember. I don't know when it came out. I forget what exactly the date was, but I think it was in the 90s. Why are they remaking a show? So apparently the original run of the show never finished.
Mm,
So I guess this was in a way to try and finish that show. But like, what makes the show so popular? It's only ranked like if you're looking at Manga Reader or like Manga Ranker, it's not even in the top 100. Like
mm,
it is a popular show in the fact that people look it up. There's not really many
mm.
merch things of it, and maybe in the 90s it was different because the Western no, people here in the United States weren't about anime the same way they are now. Like you had to go jump through a
Yeah,
bunch
not
of
to
like
the fullest
hoops.
extent. Because
Well,
I
it
know
wasn't
that
even
like
close.
there was like I mean like you still had like some anime like Speed Racer, Astro Boy, or like I know there's some like girly pop ones, like there's Sailor Moon, and then there's other like girly pop ones that I don't know the
Yeah.
names of because I know that a lot of them were popular in like Mexico, specifically if we're talking like about the full like West, like some of them were really popular in Mexico.
Well,
Um
let me tell you for real. So this is what really happened here.
Sorry,
Dragon
my
Ball,
bad. Yeah, there's also
Dragon
Dragon
Ball,
Ball. Yeah,
Dragon Ball
Dragon
Z.
Ball is another one. Like it's very, very popular in Mexico to this day. So like um there was like some influence, but like to like Aiden your point, like yeah, it wasn't as popular as it is today, or like as like fully accessible as it is to this day. Cause it was just like kind of like run here and there, like anime
Well, it was
at
seen
that
as
time.
porn. Let's be honest. It was seen as porn. Like back in like the 90s, everyone threw a bunch of forum posts about like people why it was seen like if you watched anime, like I'm talking like if you were watching like Inuyasha or you were watching
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, Sailor Moon back then, like it was you were a fucking nerd. You know, like you were seen as a really it had a really bad connotation. You know, now it's like
Mm-hmm.
everybody's watching anime. It's so cool.
Or like if it wasn't porn, it was strictly like children's television, like i.e.
Right.
Astro Boy or
Yeah.
Speed Racer, like it was strictly for like young children.
Yeah. So my point in bringing all this up is that like it's random that this show, which was I've seen a bunch of scenes on this Reddit forum that I was reading that was like, man, this show is fucking bad. Like this show is bad. Like there was a lot of like pervy shit. Like this show was fucking and I didn't read the manga.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. I mean there's a lot of pervy shit now and they have to like dance around a lot of it. And I think they're doing a good job of
yeah.
tiptoeing. But
Mm-hmm.
like the original show scenes that I saw were like insane. They were insane. There's a lot of groping. There's a lot of groping. There's a lot of old man. And we're not we're just finishing this episode 3, but like, the girl or the guy that Kemi, Dr. What's his name? Dr.
I haven't gotten his name
Dr.
down
Tofu.
here.
His Dr. Tofu. His name's Dr. Tofu.
Okay.
Um, and Dr. Tofu, wow, I just pulled that off the fucking dome. Dr.
I'm proud of
Tofu
you.
is actually like 45.
I figured he was an older gentleman. I have it
Yeah.
down that like I have a note here that's like saying like I forgot she has a thing for the doctor, and like that's
Yeah.
kind of
There's a
creepy.
really weird scene in the begin like the Reddit thing that I saw that like she's trying to get with him and when she talks about, oh, I guess I'm not a woman, there's some really fucked up scenes in the beginning one that is like Jesus fucking Christ. So my point being is that a show like this, I guess, was loved by a lot of people, and
It's a
I just
different
think,
like time.
yeah, and I get that. It's not me because I mean I watched Dragon Ball, so believe me, there are some fucked up things that
Yeah, no,
Roshi
I get
does.
you 100%. Yeah, I get you.
Um, it's just like odd that they would choose, but this doesn't have the same name power as like if they were to remake Dragon Ball, you know? Like it's just kind of random. So that's just my point. I wanted to look it up why. And I
Mhm.
still don't have a reason why. I guess some people like it. It just
It's a
seems
cult classic, I
I
guess.
guess I don't know. I just still don't know. It's just there's not really a lot of answers to why this was a remade show besides the fact that like some executive at Netflix was like, "I like this." That's my best guess. Somebody literally was like, "Why not?" Okay. Like, I don't know. I guess that's how a lot of things are made. But yeah, anyway, that's my answer to why not. But back to the episode review of Ranma.
There's a lot of to say
Uh,
that we're tiptoeing around some stuff is an understatement.
yeah, yeah. Let me get to the thing they weren't tiptoeing around. What the fuck is Nabaki taking pictures of Ranma sleeping?
Yeah. Yeah,
and
or like
selling them.
yeah, that was I have in all caps her sister is selling Ranma sleeping pics, selling Akane's
Crazy.
pics. That's
Crazy.
crazy. Like, can you like imagine like your sister or like your
No.
sibling doing that to you? That's and then and fucking Naoki's like later on in the episode when she's confronted about it, she's just like, I just wanted to make a little quick dollar. Hee hee hee. Like that's crazy.
Get a job.
Yeah. Go
Just
go babysit.
go, go. I don't know. Go.
like
Apparently,
like
everybody
a
has
like a
water
child your
that they're
age.
throwing outside. I mean, good.
Go.
Everyone has water. Apparently, there's an uptake in throwing water outside. So maybe get a job at throwing water outside. I don't know. Tea making. I don't know. Go walk a dog. Don't take pictures of your
Yeah, I'm like
sister.
go babysit. Go walk a dog. Go get a job at an ice cream shop.
Or
Just
or or just don't take pictures of your sister or the guy that randomly moved into your house about two
that
days
turns
ago.
into a woman occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah, or just
A
don't
girl,
do
I should
those
say. They
things.
are not
That's
women. These are children.
yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. And she's not only taking these pictures and selling them, she's selling them to the exact dudes that are trying to get with her.
Hmm.
She just sells it to
She knows
Kanu.
her market. She is a businesswoman. She knows the demand. She knows the market. She's
I
a
don't know.
businesswoman.
I don't even know what to say about that, but yeah, so Kanu finds out that that Ranma's a boy, but also
Yeah,
ignores it.
Kano's a dumb fuck. Like, he's
Kanu is the
stupid.
walking definition of a fucking what's the CTE. He's the walking definition of CTE. He
And
gets
then
angry, he crashes out. Crazy.
and then fucking Nabaki telling Kanu that Ranma in like an attempt to like try to like get him away from Ranma says that he owns in quotes, this is a direct quote from the show, owns the braid girl body and soul. And then like which is a crazy statement to say
Yeah,
first
yeah.
and foremost. And then once Ranma is turned into a girl right in front of him, and Ranma's like, you see now? You see why you can't like me? He like right over his head. He's just like, oh my
Oh, he
God, you're back. I
crashes
love
out.
you. He's like, oh my God.
You know what? Kanu is my favorite character, though.
He sees what he wants to see. Ignorance is
Kanu
bliss, I guess.
Kanu is the actual crash out king. I take it all back. Your dog that you just got, his name's Mandu, and he crashes out. He is not the crash out king. Kanu is the crash out king. There is
Yeah.
he he
Mandu.
is he
Mandu
is
mention.
Mandu mentioned for real. Yeah. I'm gonna let you continue the walk through the episode because that's where my notes end. I stopped,
Yeah.
so I'll let you continue it from there.
For the most part, it's just kind of like to me, it felt like it was just Ranma kind of dodging Kanu like the whole episode. And you get like some really cute moments between Ranma and Akane here and there. I will say that this is definitely the episode that I felt we got a little bit more into their romance. Um, we also start to see like how Akane starts feeling for the doctor because she's been taking Ranma there after she like beats the shit out of him to go like get him patched up. So like every like interaction that they have, Akane's just like really down bad for this guy, and Ranma notices that, and like he seems not like jealous, but it is making him feel some type of way that like Akane has these like softer feelings and is expressing more of a softer side of herself um towards Dr. Tofu. um We also find out that I guess I don't know if it's the same way for her older sister, whose name I did not write down. Um, she kind of like visits the doctor and they like have like a friendship or like a platonic relationship going on, but it's very obvious that at least to Akane, and then we see this later on in the episode that um the doctor has feelings for Akane's older sister, and this in turn makes Akane very upset, you know. And that's kind of where like the cute like scenes with Ranma come in because I have it in my notes here that I really liked Ranma trying to cheer her up and like letting her beat the fuck out of him because he knows that it'll cheer her up. Um, and they like go to like blow off steam like to fight, and in order to kind of like disarm her, he tells her like, oh, you have a really cute smile, he he, and it left such an impression that like she went back to her room and she's like, do I? She's like smiling into the mirror and shit, like it was pretty cute, all of like the weird semi pervy things that also happened aside.
Yeah, I thought Rama was very cute and showed his
Mm-hmm.
feelings for Kemi a lot in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that aspect of this. I thought they were very, you're starting to see the chemistry grow between the two of
Mm-hmm.
them. Can we also talk about how great the progressive men who would fight a Kemi every day were like, listen, Queen, we can't fight you anymore because you got a man now, and we
Yeah,
respect that.
in tears, they're like,
They're
we
like,
can't fight you anymore.
they're like, respectfully, we will not fight you anymore because you got a
you're
man.
you're betrothed.
That was that might be my favorite bit now, where they're just like, you know what? It's been an honor. Like, that was hilarious. I was just like, what the fuck? Also, the bit of the fucking panda getting, you know what? Funny enough, a panda can get a fucking job as a secretary, but you can't get a job with as a working human. You gotta take pictures of your sister. The bit of the panda being a secretary and picking up the phone and being like,
Like, yeah, that was it's just,
I don't speak.
he
And
holds
then
up
they
a
were like,
sign.
then he's like, Ron was like, well, why did you pick up the phone? Like, that was that will live in my mind for forever now because that is so fucking funny. They have a lot of really funny bits in this. And you know what? I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing the appeal of why this show would be remade again because I think
Mm-hmm.
that these are really funny bits.
Yeah, when
Um,
it's funny. But when it's like weird,
you're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah, it's in the same, it's not in the weird where it's like, no, I'm used to like this being a Japanese form. This is normal over there. That's not normal here, you know? But like I know we do a lot in America, we do a lot more freedoms. Like we just allow plastic to be inside of our water. We love that apparently. But
Yeah, we have microplastics.
yeah, just
But
floating around and we have Mountain Dew that gives us cancer, but we love it. Um So it's a little bit different here than it is there. My point being is that it's in the same weirdness scale that like in JJK season two, Mai has or not Mai has a brother who's 10 years old and like they're just naked in bed
I'm
together.
calling CPS on her. Like,
Yeah,
wrap it
what the
up.
fuck? That's what the fuck. You know, so
Jail.
it's the same type of
Jail.
like, that's JJK is one of my favorite shits. Like I gotta talk about that shit all day. But like I will not
Like,
defend shows that have like weird shit like that. And
like,
I'm
don't
not
even
gonna
get me started on Evangelion because Evangelion's
oh
my
yeah.
favorite thing, and like Evangelion is twice as bad, if not like worse than
Yeah,
that.
it's fucking weird shit. So I don't support this type of stuff, and over there 16 is the age of consent. That is if you're 16, you're an adult. So, that's just part of they're pervy, but they're but they're adults. Yeah, it's still weird, man. It's still weird. As a 27-year-old dude, like it's still I'm not gonna go date an 18-year-old. Just tell you that right now. And I'm not gonna look at an 18-year-old. It's kind of weird, but that's just me. You know, people over there like that type of shit, and I guess that's what translates to their content. I don't fucking know.
I know that it's like that is like how it is legally, but I know that there are a lot of women there that are trying to like fight against that. So it it's both sides, but
Yeah, well, they also
I
threw
could
out
also
democracy over there
I could
recently. They
also
just
say the like same thing like here, not to get like super political, but similar things happen here, especially now in this political climate that we are in. But I don't want to say too much about that.
yeah, no, I get you. But yeah, I don't know. Ranma, one half, one and a
Super
half.
funny this episode. Very funny
Ranma
this
one and a
episode.
half. The deepest the podcast will get on political stances. Who would have thought Ranma would get it out of you?
Yeah.
Who would have thought about anything else? Not Attack on Titan, but Ranma.
Oh boy. Once we start talking about Attack on Titan in depth, then
Yeah, it'll go
I'm
there.
gonna get pretty political.
It'll go there. All right. Well, if you guys like Ranma, you guys keep watching and you guys comment here and there on the Ranma videos. So you guys are liking the stuff. I don't know. Comment below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Okay. Finally, we get to the good stuff.
I've been waiting for this.
How long I've been waiting for this. All right. So this is gonna be a review of the Saiyan saga from Dragon Ball Z Kai. My girlfriend Maria right here has finished it with me. This is her first time watching kind of anything Dragon Ball in terms of like long form stuff. Like we've watched a movie, we've watched a couple of other things she knows about Dragon Ball. But we haven't quite watched every single episode. This is the first time her watching an entire arc of Dragon Ball. And the first one is we're gonna
Cue
start with Dragon Ball
applause.
Z.
Cue
Yeah,
applause.
cue applause. We have officially finished the Saiyan saga. And as someone like me, I've watched everything in Dragon Ball. I play all the games. I am just an absolute nerd. Love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was my first love, as I know a lot of people who got into anime. This is like their gateway drug into everything else.
Gateway drug is crazy.
And yeah, so now that we got that whole intro out of the way, I do have a couple questions for you. So, what'd you think? What did you think about the Saiyan saga?
It's been very interesting to kind of see a lot of like different forms of it. Like as I've said, and every time we've talked about Dragon Balls, that I had only ever interacted with it through like my friends, um, or like sometimes I would play or watch like my friends play like Dragon Ball games. So I'd really like third person perspectived it for a long time of my life. Um, and then we started like he said, we've seen the movie. We were watching a bridge. We finished the Saiyan saga it through a bridged. So like I knew kind of like what was happening, but to see it in a very like serious tone, like in the true like way that it was supposed to be presented, has been very interesting for me because I could see like where the humor comes in, why other like forms of media are like making fun of the things that they do, or like why people are talking about certain characters the way that they do, um why like certain scenes are like very influential for different people. It's been very interesting for me to kind of like interact with it that way. um and so I really liked it. Like I was a part of the, and I still am because I think it's funny, of the like Dragon Ball is a very like He-Man dude bro like anime. And in a sense, like I still kind of agree with that. It is very like strength and like I wouldn't say like man heavy, but like it's very like and there's a big
I'd agree.
emphasis on that. Yeah, but I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I do think it's funny to poke fun at, but I don't in me saying that I'm not meaning to be derogatory or like say it's bad because of those things. Because I did really enjoy watching it, and I have interacted with it multiple times. And if I don't like something, I'm not touching it again. So, so I'm continuing to watch it. But I think it's fun to poke fun at the things you like every once in a while. Um, but all of that to say that I did really enjoy watching this, and I really enjoyed watching the arc in its entirety. Um, do you want me to go into the other questions that were posed to me, or do you want to pose them to me now?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of my questions that I was gonna have for you were like, what are your favorite characters, favorite moments, blah blah blah. But before we do get into that a little bit, like I want to just like also state that like I feel that a lot of people who are watching Dragon Ball or who are getting into Dragon Ball Z now, um, it's like it's the same thing as how you look at like Naruto, or if you look at like long form series that have been out for like years and years and years. It's like it's very overwhelming to get into
Yeah,
a show like this, but
I agree.
you know, you're kind of spoiled in a way because like Dragon Ball Z Kai is probably the best cutting of fat in terms of like getting rid of all the filler and pacing that any show has been cut down to. Like it is a masterpiece of what they did. Not only updating animation, but also
Mm-hmm.
just being able to make a show that was that was paced pretty fucking bad. Uh
Mm-hmm.
Turn it into a show that's like we're on I don't know, disc three and we're already through the Saiyan saga. And like the Frieza saga is definitely we're gonna see how the pacing goes for Dragon Ball Z Kai here because the Frieza saga is a different story. You don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like in terms of how well paced the Saiyan saga has gone for at least as a rewatch for me, because I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai as it came out when I was a kid, and then I
Mm-hmm.
bought the DVDs and I watched it again about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was before I really, really got into like anime, where I was like knowing a lot about, how production stuff went or how like
The
how
nitty
things are
gritty.
edited. Yeah, and those sort of things. So watching it now with all this information, it's actually very masterful how they went through, how they went
Mm-hmm.
about it. And like while they took out a lot of the blood, like if we were to watch original Dragon Ball Z, there is so much blood in Dragon Ball, regular Dragon Ball Z. You know all the scuff marks that you saw on their character?
Yeah,
That's all
I
blood.
interpret. Yeah, I was gonna say I interpreted that as being like oxidized, like dried blood or something. But
Yeah. It's all red blood when it's there. When Goku's getting kicked, blood is coming out of his mouth. Like it is on crack. We've kind of circled back around to it now in anime. Like because I
yeah,
would say from like 2010
anime
to
is
like
very gory now. Yeah.
I would say from 20 no, not even 20 2000 to like 2020, I would say it was all very not say it was very censored, I would say. But like coming back to like Demon Slayer and that sort
For
of
like
thing now it's
some, I think there was like some anime that kind of like broke the mold on that. Like Evangelion, definitely. Like that had a lot of like
well that was prior to
violent gore.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just meant like closer to that time, I should
Oh,
say.
right, 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 right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like in the like Naruto came out and there
Mm-hmm.
was rare
Mm-hmm.
there was blood in it, but it wasn't what it
Yeah.
could have been.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think like Bleach had some of it and I remember seeing
Mm-hmm.
some of those, but my point
Full
being is like
metal.
one yeah, Full Metal, it's all very censored in a way. But anyway, like Kai took that to the upteenth level and cleaned up a lot of it. Like you don't even see the blood coming out of Goku's chest when he gets it's blown through it in the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
show.
And
Like,
I kind of see like why they would do that because I know I've mentioned to you like when we're watching it that I remember on like Cartoon Network, like the opening for Dragon Ball Z Kai coming on, and me being like, I don't want to watch this, like changing
Yeah.
the channel. So
Right.
if it's being aired on like a station for kids, I understand the censorship because they're trying to make it like more, even more profitable towards like children. So I get that. But,
Right. And that's kind of where I feel like a lot of people there's a lot of unnecessary hate for Dragon Ball Z Kai because people are like, it's not bloody. They cut out all the filler. But it's like, man, this show is the easily the best paced
mm-hmm.
90s show you will ever get.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah,
think it
the
looks really good.
pacing. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think again, I'm gonna be asking you more questions, but I just wanted to lay that out a little bit for people who are not understanding. Like Dragon Ball Z Kai is a very well made show, in my opinion. It's all opinion, not fucking right or wrong. Who gives a shit? But like in
All
my opinion, I
subjective.
think Dragon Ball Z Kai is probably one of the best paced show, at least Saiyan Saga wise, the best paced arc that has been over. Like how many episodes say we watched? Like 27, 28.
I think so. Like I'm not keeping track.
It didn't feel like it was 28
No,
episodes, you know?
absolutely not. Since like we only watched a little bit of like Dragon Ball Z. Um, I haven't watched anything else that's like episodic in terms of Dragon Ball other than like abridged because we've seen a couple of movies. So like that's a movie. It's not episodic. Like I'm not like waiting for things. So the
Yeah.
pacing is like based on a movie. So to watch something like Dragon Ball Z related, I only can reference like Daima and Dragon Ball Z Kai in terms of pacing. And like in terms of like Daima, like the pacing is ass. So for me, at least. So then to like go into watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, I feel like I'm not missing anything. Like I don't feel like I'm waiting for things to happen. I felt things were happening at a decent pace that I was still able to follow along while not being like bored or feeling like we were drifting away from the main plot. So I did to hear that it was probably like close to 30 episodes that we watched is crazy because it does not feel that way at all.
Yeah. I would compare this like we both watched all the entirety of Naruto, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
compares to the first 30 episodes of Naruto.
Okay,
Like, bro,
Naruto.
night and fucking day, man. And I love OG
Yeah,
Naruto. I am a huge,
yeah.
I literally have a shirt, Madara Danzo 24. Like I love Naruto. Um, part of the gang. But like those
Can't
first
stand
30
you.
episodes are kind of like I love the Zabuza arc, but like there are some points that where they're talking with the Tenzo, I think is the bridge builder's name. I'm like, shut the
See,
fuck up.
this is why I really don't
Shut the
like the
fuck
Zabuza
up.
arc because it's so
I
drawn
love
out.
Zabuza
My
is
God.
like a top three villain for me. I love. I'm not gonna get into
But I
fucking
do
Naruto
like
now.
Zabuza, but like, jeez.
Not getting into Naruto now. My point being is that the first
Yes.
that episode that has like over 700 episodes, like there's filler in the first fucking 30 episodes, and it's like God, maybe not filler in the same sense that like you would think of what filler is now, but there is a lot of like fat that is just them yapping about random bullshit, and you're like,
Yeah.
shut up. So my next question, I guess, like getting back to the actual review of the Saiyan saga, is like, who are your favorite characters now? We've gone through an entire arc. You've gotten to know, I would say, a majority of the cast you're going to see moving forward. Who are
Mm-hmm.
your top three favorite characters? You go from three to one.
Yeah. Oh, 3-1. I was just gonna name what I liked.
You can name them. That's fine
No.
too. Whatever you want to do. Doesn't
Okay.
need to be a
Yeah.
yeah.
I um again, like word of mouth, I've always found Vegeta very funny to me. But having like watched this and then like kind of knowing where we're going, um Vegeta, I really enjoyed him. He's just such a like I referenced this to our friends this past weekend. that he's such a like mustache twirling villain in
Yeah.
this arc, and I find it so funny. Like one of the scenes I reference in my notes is when the fighting is done and Vegeta is like really badly injured and he's trying to escape, and Krillin and Goku are fighting about whether or not they should let him live and let him escape. That when they do decide to let him go and he gets into his ship, he's like, "Ha, I'm so strong. I got in here." Without realizing that they spared him because they could have easily killed him if they wanted to. he
Yeah.
he was excuse me. He was like that badly injured. But he was still like, I am the greatest. Ha ha ha. I did
Yeah.
it. So I think he's very funny. Um I also really like Gohan. I just think he's a little scamp. He's a little cutie. I think he's super cute. I liked seeing him from like the very first episode of him just kind of like being a little baby up until now, like all the trauma aside, him being like, "We got him, Dad." I think he's a cutie. Um, I also really like King Kai.
Yeah.
He also makes me giggle. I like King Kai.
King Cat is hilarious.
Mm.
Yeah, I
I
like
I don't
in
think we've
terms of
gotten like, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't like, I haven't gotten to interact too much with like other like women in the show. Like we only get like a little bit of Chi Chi and like a little bit
You're not gonna.
a little bit of Bulma. But I know from like seeing like other things, like I don't mind Bulma. But yeah, I know that it's a very male dominated show.
You know what? I'm kind of grateful for that because when they do show women fighting in the show, it gets bad, and we'll get that. We'll get to there when we get there. But so it's not gonna do spoilers for you because I want to record that reaction when we get to that point. Just remember this. Just remember that I warned you about it.
God, am I gonna cry?
No, you won't cry, but
Am I gonna be outraged? Am I gonna be
you're gonna
mad?
be outraged. You're gonna be mad that they decided to do
Oh.
what they did with this. But I think we're gonna. I want you to not you, but comment below what you think I'm referencing, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Um,
do I
but-
think I know? I think I know. Or maybe one thing.
no. Just say it for later if you know what it is.
Yeah, I'll keep it in my dome.
Yeah. So I'm trying to rewatch the show too, along with you, kind of having a blank like slate on like how I'm looking at it, and like I gotta say, like I still think out of all the characters, my favorite will always be Gohan. Gohan is my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball.
He's a
It's like
cutie. I like him.
kind of kind of like biased, but it's like he has the most character development in this entire show so far. Like he learns from his mistakes right away. He has
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like love for his family, love for the
Mm-hmm.
for like plants and animals and
Mm-hmm.
everything,
He's a
and
cutie. I like
he
him.
even gives like I mean Piccolo literally is like you're my only friend and like dies and Gohan's like fucking like no, not Piccolo, and yeah, he has moments with his dad, and it's very I like all the things that they're putting in front of me with Gohan, and obviously a lot of the plot revolves around what Goku's doing, but I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
fun like different routes that each character. Well, there's not really a character development route for Goku. It's like Goku is who he is.
Yeah.
That'll just be it. The character development you will get is from the perspectives of other characters, and you'll
Yeah.
see where they go and what the plot revolves around.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind
And
of seeing
like,
that now, especially like also in Daima, like he's Goku's
yeah,
Goku.
he is who he is. You see a lot of that development happen in Dragon Ball. So the fact this is the sequel series is like, what I mean? It's the same thing as like Naruto. Naruto is who Naruto is. Like once you get to
Yeah.
her, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Gohan's forever my favorite. I really love Piccolo in this show.
Yeah. On my honorable
Was
mention is Piccolo.
Piccolo's fun. I think that his training is very Mulan-esque esque where he's like, let's get down to business
Yeah,
to defeat
the
the
Saiyans.
Saiyans. Like it's very great. It's very fun, and obviously when he dies, it's sad, and you get that sort of like the feeling that there are stakes. There's stakes in what's happening here, and I
Hmm.
like that with Dragon Ball Z. I know they get wished back with these magic balls, and they want to bring back everybody, but like there's stakes here. All their friends died. And it's like this guy's just 6 years old, and you're like, oh man, or 5 years, however old he is, 5 years old, and you're like, God damn, and it's crazy. And you go back, then you go to the Vegeta. And Vegeta is just this all-powerful villain who won't stay down. And you're like, God, when is he gonna die? There's so many. It's kind of funny how us as a viewer are watching Vegeta come back after every like big beam battle or whatever, and we're just like, fuck, man, are you dead yet? You're like, holy shit, you survived the spirit bomb and a giant monkey falling on you. Like, what the hell? Like this guy won't die.
And
Like,
even in the end, he's still like wheezing as he's like crawling away.
yeah, he's crazy,
God.
man.
That's
He
why
was
he's funny
literally,
to me. He's so funny to me for that. Like he's just like
yeah, he's literally the biggest fucking fiend, and it is amazing what he does in this
he's just so goofy. I love
in this
it.
show. So I guess we kind of went over some of your fit. Was there a pivotal moment in the show that really got you hooked on, or pivotal moment in this saga that got you hooked on, and like when you're watching the Saiyan saga for the first time, was there ever a moment where you're like, "This is it. This is I understand it now." What was your understand it now moment?
My I see now moment was probably like when Goku's fighting Vegeta and there are those like stakes there that it's like, oh my God, if we don't at least take this like motherfucker down to where he cannot get up again, the world is gonna end. You know? So like I
Yeah,
think it was like that for me. And like even like you said, like how every big thing like would not keep him down. And they were running out of stamina, they were running out of time, and they're running out of like ideas. So stakes are very, very high. I really enjoyed that fight. That's one of the notes I have as like moments in the show that I really enjoyed watching. But that I think would definitely be the moment where it was just like, oh, yeah, I get it. Like I
yeah,
got it before, but I get it now.
right. It's probably,
um,
and I think the most amazing part about that fight though is that the main character didn't even really finish the fight. You
no,
know,
no,
like
like
he
they
was he was laying on the ground for 4 episodes.
yeah, that I found kind of funny. He's like, all right, let's
Seriously.
wrap it up.
Yeah, he was on the ground for 4 episodes and was like, "Hey, Baldy, come over here. Let's finish this fight for me." Like, kind of crazy. I've never seen that before in an anime where the main character was just like, "You know what?
I'm
Can't do
done.
it. I'm just gonna lay here."
that
Like,
was
that was pretty funny.
that was another thing. It was this that part wasn't necessarily like my aha, but that was a moment that I was like, like it left a lasting like impression on me because in me my interaction with Krillin before this has just been through abridged. And I know that he is kind of like a joke like in the fandom in general. So like it kind of, like I'm not to say that I'm not like, you know, but
No, you can say whatever you
people
want about
like
Krillin. It's
people
right.
seem to make fun of him, like and I get
Yeah.
it. I
You'll
understand.
see when they stop, though. You'll see when they stop.
But but this like his moment where he was kind of like crashing out and was just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Vegeta. Like that was like my like oh like because up until this point like even when we're watching it I'm like making jokes about Krillin. So,
Yeah.
every like thing that I send you is like a joke about Krillin. So like um seeing him in a much more like serious and kind of like I'm not fucking around like mood, that was it was very different for me. And I really liked it. Like I thought that it was interesting for me to see the difference and to see like this is how he is. Like this is how he's supposed to be. He's not supposed to be like little green, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, to I guess to kind of end it all, what do you think? Like, so you had a misconception about Dragon Ball. You originally thought that it was no, just He-Man. They just fought, and that was kind of the extent of where it went. Now that you've watched the first, arc of Dragon Ball Z, uh, what would you tell somebody who was on the fence about watching it? What do you think they're wrong about? Like, what would you say to convince them otherwise that the show isn't what you think it is?
Like I do still agree to an extent that it is very like um He-Man Dubro fright heavy, but it's not like all that it's about, you know? And that is like the biggest misconception about it. And like after finishing it, like there are a lot of like touching moments and there is a lot of like emotion and like character development that happens and like the biggest moment that I would reference is probably like Gohan's whole like little training arc and like his moments with Piccolo and when Piccolo dies like them talking about how like Gohan is his only friend and how Gohan like really did see him as like a friend and like borderline like father figure while Goku was away. So there's moments like that that aren't like discussed between like people that don't interact with Dragon Ball often, you know. So I think that mentioning that like no, it's not all like it's action heavy and a lot of the characters like their point is to like hone their skills and like get stronger, but it's not all that it's about. Like there's still character interactions, there's still very like touching and meaningful moments between the characters that make the show more interesting, other than just like dude punch dude, big monkey.
Yeah. Well, it's also that too.
It is.
There's
That's what I'm
more.
saying. Like it is also dude punch dude, big monkey, but it's also like Green Man cry, Miss Green Man.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Show this to your girlfriends. Show this to your wives. Make them watch
Make
Dragon
them like
Ball Z.
Gohan. I really
Make
like
them like
Gohan.
everybody likes Gohan. Okay, so I guess final question. I'm gonna do this for every arc, so we'll do a wrap up on this for every arc that we watch. Um, what would you rate it? Letter grade. What would you rate
Mm.
this arc?
Hmm. I would probably say like B plus A because I don't
Okay,
I don't know anything. I don't know anything else, so it was pretty good.
okay, okay.
Just because I don't have anything else to base it off of. Like it might change. You should ask me again after we finish another one. See what I think after.
All right, B. We'll just go with a B plus. We'll go with B
Mm-hmm.
plus for this one for you. I think I would rate this one, having watched this a million times. I like all the characters. Like I like Raditz. Raditz is one of my favorite characters. Um, what's wrong, Green Man? You need a hand.
Yeah, he's
Like
he's funny.
he was hilarious.
Misreddits. He was funny.
Yeah. Too bad they didn't bring back. Imagine Raditz and Vegeta having a sass off. I mean, what's wrong, Vegeta? Need a foot because you're
Sassiest
so small.
sassiest
Like
man alive, dude. I swear.
Nappa's dumbass being like, "What do you mean, Vegeta?"
Yeah, Nappa's just in the mix. He's just there for the vibe. He's the one that wants to big punch monkey.
Yeah,
He's
for real.
he's the one.
He's a little dumb guy. Yeah, I would rate this one like in comedy A plus for comedy. I think it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's funny.
Um, I think overall I would give this like Dragon Ball Z Kai probably an A minus. It's only not an A plus or like a Z rank because I think there is a little bit of like when Krillin is saying, like talking with Goku, saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill Vegeta." It's like, bro, Goku, you gotta give a better argument right now. Besides, you just want to fight him.
Yeah, and that's also
Like,
why
yeah.
I rank it a little lower,
Uh,
especially because dude was on the ground for like 4 episodes.
Seriously, I was like, Jesus
So it's
Christ,
like,
dude,
dude,
you gotta wrap this up. You gotta tell him something more interesting than just like if I were Goku and I wanted to tell a guy like, hey, it would leave, let this guy live. I would literally be like, there's nobody who has pushed me to the limits of this thing. I know he can come back, but we're gonna get stronger together, Krillin, and we're gonna kill him when we can do it on our own terms. And because that's what Krillin's all about. Both of them have are best friends for life, and they have been training to beat these tough villains to save Earth. And it's like we gotta do it when we're both standing up together, us three and Gohan. When we get all our friends, you know what I'm saying? Like there would have been a much better way to like
yeah, and like, yeah,
explain
that
it
would have
than be
been
like,
10 times better. And that's why I would like knock it down because I like it's like that's where I felt very like, dude, bro, like, come on, Goku.
yeah. So
Come on, man.
I give it an A minus, but it's just for that. So anyway, that's our review for the Saiyan saga in Dragon Ball Z Kai. Let us know what you think about this arc in the comments below. And while you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the noti bell if you feel so inclined to. Um, did you want to do anything else? Did you want to wrap it up there?
Um, yeah, I think I'm pretty chill. I haven't watched any more anime on my own. Um, did you
You're just a
wanna?
chill guy.
Yeah, I'm just
Just a chill guy like that.
chill guy like that. Um, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Did you want to talk about the movies we've seen or anything?
Uh, we could talk about Wicked if you want. We can talk about Wicked. Why not?
I would love to talk about
Well,
Wicked.
why not? Why not? We well, I guess one more anime thing for me. I watched more of the I forget the ant arc that's going on in Hunter x Hunter. Um Man, this shit got crazy. Killua like snapped someone's neck and went absolutely feral. Uh, Gohan is having trouble letting go of his emotions to like bring himself to that level of I don't know feralness. Like
We are about
Gohan,
to
you
get
want
more feral.
Gohan, you would really like Gohan because he's a very cute kid, like how Gohan
Probably would
is.
like Gon. Hmm.
Um, and
He seems
this
like a
arc is
cutie.
gonna push Gohan to those levels where he needs to kill somebody, and he's gonna meet up with people who he needs to like. There it's a dog eat dog world, and I don't think Gon has the ability yet to
Come
fully
on,
kill
Gon.
somebody. And it's kind of sad because you see the not the light leave his eyes, but just how of a how a cute innocent kid is born into like the wrong world. Like he just a kid who wants to play around and get stronger, you know? He's not a kid who wants to become a murderer, like a
You see
murderer
him,
assassin.
yeah, you see him realize that he needs to grow up a little bit more. Like you see the
Yeah.
child leave his eyes.
Yeah, and it's like Killua and Gon were walking. They have this master now. His name is Master Kite. And not really he's not really their master. He's just the guy that's hanging out with them trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Hmm.
And Killua and Gon are talking about, oh, all these masters have helped us through each time and has really taught us something new. And Master Kite stops them and is like, I'm not here to teach you shit. You guys are useful because you guys can fight. He's like, but if you guys lose, I'm not gonna help you live. It's like that's on you. And I don't think Gon gets that yet. Like there are
Hmm.
people literally getting murdered every 2 seconds in this arc. Keela was like, "Oh yeah, I'm an assassin. Forgot about that," and just murder somebody. Meanwhile, Gon's like doing his move where he's like lighting up his fist to like shoot a fireball fist. I don't really know what his move is yet, but like it's just you're like, bro, you gotta get serious. You're not
Hmm.
serious. And he defeats a guy and
Gotta
he turns
lock
his
in.
dude, seriously, he defeats a guy and he turns his back on him, and the guy isn't dead yet, and he's about to kill him, and then Kite saves him, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, you're not getting it yet, man." And I think that I don't know, this arc started off really slow for me, but man, it's getting good. I will
Mhm.
report back next week where we're at because I'm 14 episodes into it now, and it is heating up. I'm hoping to see Karapika show up. I haven't seen his ass in fucking 2 seasons now.
Where
Karapika's just
is
hanging out.
Kurapika?
Seriously, he's
Kurapika
just been
is
hanging out.
descending
I haven't seen him in a while.
indescribable emptiness.
All right. Let's talk about Wicked real quick. We went to go see Wicked the other night. 3 hour movie. You've listened to all the songs. I assume you've seen the Broadway musical, right?
I am a big musical theater nerd. I love musical theater. I have not had the chance to see Wicked in its entirety live, or like seen the actual like musical. But I have listened to the whole soundtrack multiple times. I have also seen like certain songs, like the more popular songs, acted out like through clips. Like I've seen the Defying Gravity seen, I've seen popular, like the ones that are the most
Mhm.
well known in Wicked. But I've never seen the full thing live, or like at least the full thing. But I to what I know, they stayed really true to like the original adaptation, like the musical adaptation of it. Um also Wicked, the musical, is based off of a book. So this is a movie based off of a musical off of a book. And the book, they're not super accurate to the book, but the movie is for the most part like very accurate to the actual like stage performance, which I really appreciated. I felt like I was watching like a step above like a musical performance. Um I thought the acting was really well. I thought I was seeing a lot of mixed reviews on like how Ariana Grande was acting versus like how she was singing. And I thought like she sung like really well. Like I had never heard her sing this way, because for people that don't know, singing like pop music or like singing another type of genre of music is very different from musical theater. Like it's a very different technique that you have to use to like sing for the stage versus like in a studio or like at a concert. Like it's a very different vocal style. So I'd never heard her sing this way outside of like hearing her like her normal shit. Um and Glinda, her character is a very like, she's a soprano, which is like the highest voice that you can have as a woman. And her like songs can get very like operatic. Like she has like a lot of like um opera-esque tones to her voice, where she kind of like has a lot of like that type of vocalization. I'd never heard her do that. She was like phenomenal. She had like a lot of like whistle tones in there as well. It was really nice. And like as far as her acting, like it didn't like, it wasn't bad per se. Glinda's character is very like ditzy, airheaded. So like it didn't, her acting didn't take away from that, because I know how Glinda's supposed to behave, I guess. And I thought she had really good chemistry with I'm just trying to remember her name. Uh the actress that played
Alphaba,
Elphaba, the actress that played Elphaba,
Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo, yeah. I thought they had really good chemistry, as they should, because their characters turn into best friends. Um so yeah, her like I thought it was really good. What did you think?
Yeah, I think to kind of bring it into anime, um, I thought that the Wicked world building I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think every time that they zoomed out and they showed the world of Wizard of Oz and they showed the different like creatures and what was going on outside of it, I thought it was really cool. Definitely reminded me of like an isekai sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
and it was I
Technically,
was
Wizard of Oz is an
technically
isekai.
this
It is an
technically it
isekai
is.
for both Oz the wizard because he gets blown from our world to Oz, and for
Oh,
like
spoilers.
Dorothy. Sorry.
Spoilers.
That's how he gets there. Uh,
I didn't know
yeah.
that.
Sorry.
Now I know.
Maybe
I
maybe
figured.
you
I
and
was
I should
putting it together.
watch. Maybe you and I should watch Oz the Great and Powerful.
I was putting it together. Yeah, I thought that I liked a lot of that. I liked the animals, like stuff that they had going on. I thought that that was really cool how they were slowly being taken away, especially in the beginning of the movie where they had, Elphaba had a breakdown where she used her powers and broke a bunch of stuff, and the clock where it was covered up with the wizard broke, and it was
Mm-hmm.
animals up there, and I was like, oh, what's gonna happen with that? Um.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time they brought up the animal crap, I was like, "Oh man, this is the most interesting part of this. Get back to that. Let me see more of that shit. Let me talk about the world, talk about the politics of Wizard of Oz. Was there a wizarding war? Like what was happening with this? I thought it was really cool. Um, the only thing I think because, I'm so fucking anime brain rotted, I was just thinking to myself, why isn't there more training with Alphaba? Why aren't we seeing more of this control your power? Why aren't we seeing like actual levels to her rising up in powers? They just simply talked about her learning levitation. They didn't
And
actually show her like doing any of that stuff.
mm-hmm.
All we've seen is
And
her, blow up and do that up
like
to
I
that point.
think in part like that was because they only had one purpose for her. Like they didn't see her as anything else than like a scapegoat and like a ploy for their own like means of like further animal control. And like that I've also seen a lot of discourse online about how people that were like unfamiliar with like how wicked like goes, I guess. Like they didn't know that it was like very political and it's in like an allegory for like
Right.
politics. Like it's talking about something. Like it's
Yeah.
using the world of the Wizard of Oz to speak about bigger issues.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like
before you get too far, like into that, yeah, because I want to bring it to that in a little bit before you dive into it. Hold on.
so
I do want to go. Yeah. Hold on, because I do want to dive into that a little bit, but I just want to like finish my point with
sorry.
like with them teach like so at the end of the whole movie they reveal what you just said about them being an enemy and whatnot. I don't feel like the seeds were laid for her to like even be on their
Okay.
side one time. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like if you're training this person, and Galinda is jealous of this person getting one-on-one treatment with like Mad and Mortal. We see it in like some of the montage, a little bit of them like she's reading a book or something like that. I just didn't really see the sculpting of this power lead into them being like, yeah, she's the one. Besides her freaking out and blowing up, like not blowing up, but like using the force,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
unhinged using the force. If your whole plot was to use her to control people or use her to read this the ancient texts, like you would have thought there would have been something else there. And that's just my anime brain being like, where's the training arc? Like where is the part where she is learned how to move the coin, not just be this angry Sith Lord? Like it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just because she's not evil, like
No. And
she's not
that's
evil. And I think that's like the
mm-hmm.
point. But like they didn't
Mm-hmm.
no, at least not yet. I don't know. You don't stop spoiling things.
I'm not gonna
Um
talk. Okay, I will say before you continue that this movie it is gonna be a two-part movie, and musicals are mainly
yeah.
split into Act One and Act Two. So this first movie was Act One, but, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
Act Two.
Yeah. Like there was just for me personally, I'm like how again because I'm anime brain rotted. I was simply like, where is the training arc? Where is
Mm-hmm.
the part where she is getting these powers and learning how to,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like we saw Madame Morble move the weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that there are certain there are people who can actually use magic in this world, right?
Hmm.
Like magic exists because Alphaba knows how to use magic, and we
Hmm.
see in the beginning of the movie, Glinda uses bubble magic. I don't even know. Maybe that's all fucking fake too, but like it's just. It's just like I don't know, man. Like I wish that that there's real magic where you read the sacred text and you're able to do this sort of thing. I wish there would have been like a level set of what the peak of magic is for me to
Hmm.
be able to see where she is in terms of because it's like all she's done so far is move shit around and then give some fucking monkey some wings and
Hmm.
fly, you know?
I do get you. Um, and I will say that they do rely heavily on like Elphaba's like display of raw talent, like unhoned talent, to make you like to like drive the sense that like she is like super powerful, and it's dangerous that she doesn't know how to like control it since it's so tied to her emotional state, you know. Um, and I will also say like spoilers, Oz is not, he's not a real wizard. He does not have magic. Um, so to these people, they don't like know that other than like Madame Morble, you know. So like they're all taught that like Oz is so great. He's so like such a powerful wizard. He read their sacred texts and you know whatever. That's why he's in like the position of power that he is. And he's like through like word of mouth, like all of the things that he's quote like done, that's like the standard. Like if you can be like Oz, then you're set. Like you're so powerful. Like he is the peak. But as like it progresses, like you understand that Madame Morble is like a very like renowned like sorceress. Like she that's why Glinda wants to train with her so badly because she's good. Like she can control the weather. Like she's such a good witch, sorceress, whatever. Um so for Alphaba to like have like such raw talent and then to be handpicked by Madame Morble, and then like all of their like true nature, like her true like intentions with her aside, that like I can understand um Glinda's like discontent, I guess you should say. And I think it like also talks a lot about how if Alphaba didn't look the way that she did, like would she still have been the scapegoat? Would she still have been like um could she have been greater than Oz? You know, like could she have been the like would her position have been excuse me, better or different if she herself didn't look different? It's all interesting stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not super huge music. I'll watch musicals. I don't really care for them, but I'm not like a connoisseur like you are. Uh, but I could see where they're going with the story. I liked a lot of the songs. The only part that I mean, it was I just don't like 3 hour movies, so it's probably my biggest thing about it. Like I'm a big like superhero fan. I dislike the Batman's 3 fucking hours. I think that is a stupid long movie. Dislike that there's an intermission for Titanic. I just think that that is crazy. Uh, I liked a lot of the songs in it. There was only a couple parts where I was like, "What the fuck is that? Why does nobody give a shit about those animals?" Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like nobody gives a
Mm-hmm.
fuck about these animals. And it's like I get the slowly but surely the they've I wish they would have gone more into hammering it into like where why the animals aren't
Me
being taught
too.
anymore,
Mm-hmm.
why how we've reached this point because it's like it seems like I mean this is in my opinion it looks very much like World War II what Germany was doing in terms of like uh taking out people of power who were certain races and doing what they
Oz
did to the
mentions
Jewish
this.
people, and they do that sort of thing. It's very obvious, at least in my opinion, that's what that's what's looking like. So it's the same thing that I feel about with like Attack on Titan. It's like, just commit, man,
It
just commit.
comes full circle. I mean,
It's just
to be fair, Oz does mention this. He says when where he's from in our world, it's customary to point the blame on somebody else and make them the problem, which is what happened in World War II with
yeah, no, exactly.
Germans and the Jews. So like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that's
Whereas in
where like
like
I wish.
that's what I was gonna
But
say. Like, whereas in Attack on Titan, they don't mention that. Like, at
yeah,
least here, he was actually like, yeah, this is what I'm going for.
yeah. Well, less on like what he said, and more about laying the foundation for why
Mm,
that becomes such a bigger
mm-hmm,
talking point and why
mm-hmm.
it becomes the focal point of who Elphaba is at the end of this show or end of this movie because it's like, that's a big fucking deal. But we take a giant fucking detour for them to go fucking dance at a ball and have her do like a stupid dance. And it's like, I
Yeah,
get
that
it.
was that was a long time for her
Like
to
I get
just.
it, but I know it's so stupid. No offense. Like whatever. Like I think that was probably the worst part of the movie because you witness these people having a fucking underground railroad conversation, and you're gonna straight up just be like, I'm gonna go like stop. Like stop. I wish there would have been a moment there where she's like looking through books and seeing like as it's progressing, we would have seen more just laying and then being caught by like Madame Morble or something like that, and then laying the seeds for how that turns out later. Because all we get to see is
Mm-hmm.
Madame Morble be like, "Here's a wand, Galinda. Your bestie gave you this one." It's I don't know, man. The part of that is just and I know there's a whole second part to this, but if you're doing a fucking 3 hour movie, it's like, fuck, man. I know you gotta leave some stuff for the next 3 hour fucking movie. Like,
Yeah, I it does make me wonder like how long um part two or like act two is gonna be because like I said, this played very much like the original musical. And in act one, it ends with Defying Gravity. Spoilers, Defying Gravity is the very last song you are going to hear because that is the final song of act one. Um so it like yeah, I it makes me wonder if it's gonna be as long or close to it to
yeah,
to see how much they're going to pack in there. Usually as far as like musicals go, usually the first act is going to be the longest because they're trying to jam pack all of the like world building, all of the like so you understand like what's going on. A lot of like the heavier musical numbers are going to be in the first act. And then the second act you're just going to be tying up loose ends. The story's going to progress to its climax. Usually they like stop at the climax. Defying Gravity is like the climax, and then you're just gonna get the steady like closing of how the story's going to end. So I would guess that the second movie isn't going to be as long. Definitely not 3 hours. I will still say definitely the 2 hour, a little over that for sure, but it's definitely not going to be as long as this.
yeah. And again, like I know classic, like whatever, I'll just fucking say it. Like, I feel like the musical part got in the way of the good story that was being told here a lot. Like, I know it's a fucking musical. I know. You tell me to shut the fuck up in the
musical
comments. I don't get.
musicals, the whole point of a musical is
I
the
know.
plot progresses through song. So
I
it's
know. I get it. I get it. This is not me being blind to the fact of what I watched as a musical and why am I complaining that they were singing songs in a musical. I get it. I get it. So I'm not dumb. I get it. Like it's just I think that there was a story there that I enjoyed a lot more than what we got. And if like I want to see the Kai version of this. Like, I want the cutting of a lot. If they were, I don't mind all the songs. I just think that whole that ball gown section could be
I
completely
also
cut out.
hate that segment. Like when I'm listening to the soundtrack on my own, I usually skip it. I don't like Fiero's like let's just dance. Life's a dance. I also
Yeah,
don't
you
really
can
like
cut out
Fiero's character that much. But
you can cut out
um
that part. You can cut out the library dance. Um Because
Yeah,
I almost
Fiero's
feel like that
song,
would have been,
yeah.
yeah, that would have been a good part to show what the fuck they're learning. What the hell is going on? What does the curriculum look like? Because they're not teaching magic. They're tell you what. Um, don't know what's going on. It's just I don't know. There's a lot of parts there where I wish there would have been
Yeah.
more world building to see. And then this is just nitpicking. This is on the actual like acting or anything. I thought that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo had really great chemistry together. I thought
Mhm.
that to pull off a story where you have such tandem, you need to have a lot of comedic timing. And I didn't
Mhm.
think that Ariana Grande had that up to this point. I know
That's
she had
fair.
Disney,
Yeah,
but
that's super fair.
I thought that she had really good comedic timing in this. I thought that her
She was also a Nickelodeon kid.
mannerisms, yeah, I know, but like I thought that her uh her mannerisms were very well timed, and I thought that she
Mm-hmm.
was genuinely funny in this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Alphaba played, or not Alphaba, but I thought that Cynthia Erivo played a good, and not necessarily straight man, but an ability to play like the outcast nerd who is only outcast because whatever.
Very
And
standoffish, a very like
yeah,
guarded character.
and I thought that that came off really well. Uh, you know what? I don't think Michelle Yeoh did a bad job, but I just don't think that that was as impactful of a performance as you could have had out of somebody who's kind of like the overarching moving the plot forward type of thing. I thought that she was kind of in the background, and I don't know if that's just what her character is, but it just didn't really hit for me.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think that's because of her, but I think it's just in the
that's
moments
the
that
way
she
the
was allowed
character's
to
written.
like, yeah, and I think it's just I don't know, it just didn't really pop for me. I think the person that was supposed to pop that wasn't Elphaba and Glinda was supposed to be the Wizard of Oz, and it's just Jeff Goldblum talking, and I
Mhm.
really didn't like him at all. I thought that he was just him, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
care.
like, I do like. I also think that Jeff Goldblum could have done a little bit more like acting because in the musical, um, Oz is a very like grandiose character. Like he's a showman.
Yeah.
Like that's what
He could have
he
been more whimsical.
also, yes, that's what I'm trying to get at because like also spoilers, as we all know, Oz is fake. He is just a plain old human. Um, before he came to Oz, he was a like a con man, like a showman, like a con guy, like circus
Yeah.
guy, like that type. So I would expect his like character to have also if you hear my dog crashing out, you don't. um I would expect his character to act a little bit more grandiose because he is performing at any
Yeah.
time that he is in front of people. He is performing, he is putting on an act, he's putting on a show. So like not to say that like because I do think Jeff Goldblum was a good pick because he has like that tonality when he speaks, but I think that he could have like a little bit more than what we gave. But I do think that
Yeah.
he like was a good pick for Oz. He just I needed a little bit more. Um
Yeah.
because I'm also basing it off of the musical. Um
Yeah. I think it was like between him and like I thought that Jonathan Bailey playing Furio is it?
Fiero.
Yeah, Fiero. I thought that Fiero was good up until the part where he needed to um hang out with Elphaba in the forest. And I was like, all right, I know you're trying to show a different kind of emotion than what the character was, but like he was way too theater kid for me, and it came off as like kind of fake when you got to that part. And I was like, I don't,
You
you
see
lost
like
me
and
here.
I
You
as
lost me
somebody
here.
that has seen a lot of like musicals, I've acted in musicals. Like I I didn't mind it. Like I didn't even think anything of it because like that's there's like a
Yeah,
way to act, you know, and there's like a way to sing in like musical theater. So I wasn't any like the wiser. Um but I also just don't like Fiero's character, like
Yeah.
personally. So
Yeah, I've taken a lot of like I don't know, movie
I will
studies.
slut shame Fiero till I die. And
I've
only
taken a lot of
Fiero.
like movie like thematics and movie structure and like movie studies, and does not make me a fucking like god when it comes to understanding acting. I didn't take acting classes. I just watch it how it plays out for me, and how it played out for me was I thought that he played
Yeah,
that
no, I get you.
fun, whimsical sort of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, pay attention to me, like Ariana Grande
I'm a
type.
prince.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Disney prints very well, but I think when it
Mhm.
came to like the intimate moments where it was very acting heavy, where you needed to like
Yeah.
very much
Hmm.
win you over in terms of what emotions he was feeling, I was like, nah, you didn't do it for me, buddy. Like it
Yeah, I
was,
get you.
he was like, I gotta go, run into the forest, and then went jumped away.
Yeah, he just exited stage right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
get
all
you.
right, thank God that's over because that
I do
sucked.
I do get you. And
Yeah,
I thought that's the one thing I did think the same thing of, like he's like, and he like did like the
yeah,
theater turn.
yeah. I
I'm
also
like,
kind
damn,
of
that was his
like.
cue.
Or sort of. I kind of wish that there was more, he saves the cat, right? And he obviously has there was feelings there for him, but I wish there would have been a
He
scene.
started thinking.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of that's funny, right? That's funny. But I wish there would have been one more scene with instead of that stupid fucking ball scene, you could add more time into like him talking with his horse.
Yeah,
Because his horse
I
talks,
I
like he
think
has there's more to his
yeah.
character than just that.
I think my biggest critiques would definitely be that, like, for people that um don't know like the musical, I think there, like, it would have been really good to have a little bit more background on like the animals and like how it was before Oz and stuff like that, like versus what Oz tells us and stuff. And like, and it's not to say
Yeah.
that we won't like get more detail in the second act, but like as of right now, like I think it would have been good to have a little bit more of that, or like add in those scenes of like Elphaba like doing her own research, or like, what have you, because those things are not in the musical, but I think that they would have been good to have in a movie adaptation, so that there's a little bit more context for that. Because like in a musical, like you're just seeing like, there's not time for that. But like for a movie, if it was already gonna be like 3 fucking hours, like why not just
Yeah.
add like a little scene of Elphaba like flipping through a book or something, or like
They
maybe
kind
having
of
her,
do.
or
That's
maybe
the part.
having her
Like they
spend a little
kind
more
of do, but they
time with
don't.
the doctor, the goat.
Yeah. Peter
But
Dinklage, yeah, hanging out with Peter Dinklage, the goat. Yeah.
yeah. But like so like I think that was my biggest like critique, is that I think it would have been nice to see in a movie adaptation of it. Um I thought the
What would you give it
cinematography was really
as a
good.
good?
Sorry, I just in like passing, I thought the cinematography was really really good in the movie too.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought that it looked pretty good. I thought that
Mhm.
there was no moments where I was like, oh, taken out by what they were showing me. I thought what they showed me wanted me to learn. I'm almost interested enough to go look on YouTube what happens. And I think that that's a win in any book
Let's go
to get
see
me.
the real Wicked. Let's go see it on Broadway.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Uh. I don't know. It's. I don't know. I think the thing that brings it down for me is that if there's a whole scene that I just want to cut out because you didn't do enough for other characters, I think that brings it down a lot. And it's already long as shit, so it's like, and this isn't even me bitching to just bitch. It's like, I don't know. Uh, that's just the only part that I'm like, whatever. Um, I thought that the end was good. I really liked the ending of the movie. I thought that was really cool. Her like reading the sacred text, and the monkeys. I don't know why they're blue. Um, were they weren't blue before?
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't seen The Wizard of Oz in like years. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
But
know,
I don't know.
girl. But
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll turn different color later on. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe she got a little funky with it. Uh, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't 3 hours and they cut out certain things and they added more narrative to what was going on to really fuel the fire to what's going to happen in the next one, that maybe I'd like a little bit more. Like, I think I would give this like I give it like a B minus. It's fine. It's cool. I just don't like. I don't know. Nothing wrong with all the acting. I think there were acting choices that weren't there. It's a B minus because I have interest in the story, not necessarily the characters.
it's fair.
What do you think?
I would say I would give it an A. I would not get it wouldn't be an A plus for me because of like the things we discussed. But I absolutely loved it. Like I haven't wanted to engage with like musical stuff in a very long time. And like when we got back into the car, we were with a group and I was like, y'all mind if I just listen to my musicals? Because I've wanted to just listen to it and like sing along and like engage with that content again. And like I have not touched it in a very, very long time. So I really, really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see the second part and to see kind of like how it ends. Cause again, I know for the most part what happens, but I've never seen it. Um, so I'm really excited. I thought it was pretty good. I loved the like in the little like homage to Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, the original Glinda and Elphaba. They also made appearances in the movie. Um, I, it just like in the heart. It's really nice for me. Definitely, and I would absolutely go watch it again because I don't mind really long movies. So
I would.
I would, I would go see it again, and I am planning to see it again. So
Happy for you.
thank
Truly,
you,
truly happy for you.
thank you.
What do you guys think? You think about Wicked? I
The
tried to bring
short,
it back.
the short conversation that was supposed to be for Wicked.
Uh, I, I, I tried to make it anime for you. So if you're, so that way I could name the title. Would Wicked be a good anime? Question mark. Wicked review.
Sorry if we lost you, gang. Sorry.
That's gonna be the title. Um. Anyway, let us know what you think about Wicked in the comments below. And while you're down there, leave a like, subscribe. This is also the end of the podcast. So thanks for watching all 4 hours of this. I hope you do. I hope you do. All right. Bye. We love you. Bye.